Who is this talking? Do you know?
From Michigan, this great program that it has been before. And it's been a while. You go back to 2009, the last time they won, but they want to win, but they want to do it.
Oh, I gotta turn it off because I started the stream.
So like, he's coming with this philosophy.
I don't know either.
You check out Central Michigan football on Instagram or social media, Twitter, X, whatever. There's content being pushed out every day. Like, that's been an emphasis from them of just, we need to tell our story.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Big Tigers news last night. The All-Star starters announced, 3 of them representing Detroit, and the big surprise, Javi Baez starting in center field. It wasn't really a shocker to most Tigers fans. You see Riley Greene starting in the All-Star game. He's been tremendous, especially in June. Gleyber Torres has been so consistent all season long, and there isn't a ton of competition at second base in the American League this year, so he gets the nod there. Not much of a surprise. But man, Javi Baez getting the starting center field spot. I mean, this is just, think about this. He's played in 71 games this season. Only 30 of those has he started in center field. Less than half of the games, he hasn't played in center field since June 4th. It's been nearly a month since Javi Baez has even played the position he's going to be starting in the All-Star game. And it just goes to show, this gives me another excuse to talk about this unique season that Javi Baez is having. Look, you still see the flashes of the old Javi Baez. That's never going to change, right? But the fact that the last 2 years in Detroit, he's been basically a zero, a nothing. Talked about being waived or cut heading into this season. And not only has he provided some use playing center field defensively, he also has brought it with his bat way better than anyone expected. What a resurgence for Javi Baez in 2025, and we can't wait to see him out in center field in the All-Star game. Remember that, presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom, and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Fields.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themid.com.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game. They're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that.
Hello, and happy 3rd of July. Happy Thursday for you. It is the Ben Bosscher Show live from Midland, Michigan.
Yeah! Here we go!
Shout out to everyone listening in the Great Lakes Bay region, everyone live on our YouTube as well. We've got a big day planned out. Like I said, it is the 3rd of July, and it's only right that we get to talk about 3 different All-Stars for the Detroit Tigers. Could be more. Will be more. Tarek Skubal. But we do have bare minimum 3 Tigers in the All-Star game in 2025, 3 of which will be starting. So this is a pretty awesome day to celebrate that for the Detroit Tigers. They split yesterday in their series against, or their doubleheader against the Nationals. We're going to jump into all that here momentarily, but it is the 3rd of July. The 4th of July is tomorrow. We're going to take tomorrow's show off. So this is basically our 4th of July show. And as we do with every holiday on this show, it's time for overrated, underrated, or properly rated July 4th edition. Is the 4th of July an overrated, underrated, or properly rated holiday? Here's my answer. 4th of July is great. Sun's out. Get to go enjoy either some baseball, some lake, some boats, some barbecue, get the grill up, hang out with the friends, hang out with the family, watch some fireworks. Kyle, I have the 4th of July as properly rated. I have it as the second best holiday in the calendar year. I know. I have it as the second best calendar holiday in the calendar year, only behind the one and only Christmas. But 4th of July, to me, is always one of those things where it's like, hang out with the friends, get on the boat, enjoy some time. I don't think anyone's calling it, like, saying it's the best holiday in the world. Because if that was the case, I think it'd be a little bit overrated. But it fits right behind. It's in that next tier, you know. It's a really good holiday, but it's not great.
I would disagree, not in the fact of where you're placing it, but in the fact of people for sure think 4th of July is the best holiday.
They do?
That's number one for a lot of people, I feel like.
I don't know. I can't go. If that's the case, then maybe it is a little bit overrated. I think it's properly rated, though.
Just because of the time of the year, right? I mean, like, Christmas is a go-to answer for a lot of people.
It's because it's the right answer.
I've made my case for Thanksgiving.
Which is crazy.
But both of those happen in the wintertime, in the cold weather, right? In Michigan, 4th of July is like prime time weather.
You get the prime time weather.
First.
You got the boats. You got the beach. You got the baseball. There's a lot of good vibes on the 4th of July, right?
A lot of bees. Yeah.
That's right. A lot of bees.
Great stuff.
Hopefully no bees that sting you or anything, though. So I believe the 4th of July is right, properly rated. Because typically when we do this, it's like overrated. I don't enjoy a ton of holidays. 4th of July is certainly one that I do enjoy, so I can't call it overrated. But it's not underrated because everyone's well aware of how awesome the 4th of July weather can be. This is supposed to be a really fun weekend for us here at Dow Diamond because we've got the Whitecaps coming to town. We've got 5 top 100 prospects that are going to be sharing a field right here at Dow Diamond. I can't wait for the 4th of July tomorrow. This should be very fun.
I would agree with you that it is definitely not underrated.
No.
Properly rated is probably the answer. I would probably lean more towards overrated than underrated, though. If you had to go one way or the other.
I can't go overrated because I really enjoy this holiday, and I do
too.
I don't think I can say that about most
It's
holidays.
hard to say it's overrated. Like, it's pretty fun. It's a good holiday.
Like, growing up, go to the lake, go tubing a little bit, which should be an Olympic sport, by the way. Just absolute war with the siblings and the cousins and the friends on the tube, just trying to rip each other off. Last one on wins. Like, that kind of stuff is always going to be fun today. And now that I'm a little bit older, you know, we've got the Loons games, we've got the baseball to be played. I don't think I've ever had a bad 4th of July, I think is where I've stood on it. Like,
right.
The food is great. The vibes are good. The weather hopefully holds up. I don't think there's supposed to be any rain tomorrow. A top-tier holiday. A top-tier holiday to me. Now that I've considered, it's right behind Christmas, but those two are the lone top two on the tiers. Yes.
It's the big 3, man. Thanksgiving is in that.
Thanksgiving's a tick below for me. Because typically, until the last couple of years...
No way you feel that way.
Hold on. Typically, the last couple of years, Thanksgiving usually has a sour tone to it because of a certain football team. Now, that's not the case anymore. They wrote the ship last year.
True, it does like ruin the whole day.
That has been most of my life. That has been most of my life. So Thanksgiving for me hasn't always been the most enjoyable time. I know they fixed everything last year, more so to do with the inopportune Chicago Bears with how they ended that game. But to me, the Thanksgiving thing is like there's always just the element of, oh, come on. Now it's different now that the Lions are good, but I don't know. Like, I don't have to worry about anything for the 4th of July. I mean, there's a Tigers game, but come on, this team's 12 and a half games up. If they lose tomorrow, no big deal, right?
Well, I don't know about no big deal.
Well, it is against the Guardians. That is a team that I despise.
Yeah, that's true. We do need to get our revenge on them. Here's what I'll say. Taking away the roots of the holidays, like why they are holidays and everything, just from how you celebrate the holiday and what you do on it, low-key Memorial Day is like right there with July 4th. Just from what you do on the holiday, because you get the day off. It's like the kickoff into summer at the end of, like, in the May.
Yeah, but sometimes the weather's still not good enough to go to the lake.
And that's
or
where I
anything
was
like
going to
that.
say sometimes it's not good enough. But you get the Monday off for sure on Memorial Day. So, like, I'm not saying it's better than July 4th, but just from, like, the summer holiday aspect of things, I think Memorial Day is right there. And I see Logan in the chat right now. Halloween, no way.
That is Halloween is
no way.
The whole reason that overrated,
Yes.
underrated, and properly rated exists on the show for the holidays is because Halloween is the most overrated. It's not a real holiday. It's an overrated holiday. It's not fun after you graduate college. Maybe if you have kids, you enjoy
Even
taking
when you're
them out.
in college, it's like
I don't know about that. Halloween's pretty fun when you're in college for a lot of reasons. But when you graduate college, in between that and the time you have kids and can take them trick-or-treating, what are you supposed to do on Halloween? It is by far the most overrated
Halloween's
holiday.
a fake holiday.
Thank you. It's not. It shouldn't have even qualified for overrated, underrated, properly rated holidays because it's not a real holiday. That is correct.
It's the whole reason why this discussion ever started, right? I mean, even when you first started doing the payoff, this might have been your first non-sports topic you did.
Right, because it was like, what are you doing tonight for Halloween? I don't know, probably going home and watching Thursday Night Football, as I do every Thursday. Probably that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a great time watching whatever football game is on.
And you got to buy a costume. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay,
I
so
don't
we
think
got...
I've bought a costume on Halloween since high school or since like middle school. Usually I just like scrape something together and I'm the guy that's like,
okay, this
you
is
wore
kind
a
of the
jersey.
case for 4th of July being better than Christmas even.
So
it's a cheap
up?
holiday. You don't got to buy gifts.
You don't have to buy
gotta buy
gifts,
a costume.
But if you're the one hosting a party, you got to buy drinks, you got to buy food.
Yeah, but that's like
you got to get some
that's different.
stuff to grill on the grill. I think we're at an age where maybe it's not super expensive, but whoever's like hosting the event wherever you go, it can be a little pricey.
You're right.
You gotta buy
but it's
food
different
for
like
everybody.
hosting the party rather than like having to get exterior stuff like a costume and gifts and stuff like that.
See, I can't do the costumes anymore. Call me a loser, call me not in the spirit, but Halloween, it just doesn't do it for me. 4th of July, on the other hand, get the bathing suits, you get the water, you get the sun, have a couple drinks. An awesome holiday. Properly rated. I can't go underrated because some people do think it is the best holiday that exists, and it is a really good one. I don't think I'd quite call it the best one, but it is certainly on that top
Okay, but
tier.
here's a deciding factor. Where you at on fireworks?
I'm glad you asked.
Because this is really a decider on how you feel about 4th of July.
Me personally, I like fireworks when I see them in person. What I cannot stand is people who take videos of fireworks and post them on social media for
Yes,
anyone
dude.
else to watch.
This might be your best take.
I could not care any less about someone's fireworks on their story. I do not ever care to watch a video of someone else's fireworks. If I'm not seeing it in person, then what is the incentive? And also, if you're recording the fireworks, you're kind of missing out on the fireworks, my guy. You're not actually sitting there and enjoying
I mean, you're still
the
seeing
moment.
it.
Yeah, but you're not experiencing the moment and living in the moment. You're living through your phone because you want everyone to see the fireworks. Breaking news, I'm going to see fireworks where I'm at because it's the 4th of July. Everyone lights off fireworks. I don't
Yeah.
need to see yours. There's nothing special about your fireworks show. Everyone's got their own fireworks show. So don't record it and post it on your stories. That's just a little PSA for this
Is that
weekend.
worse than people that post like a 3-minute long concert clip on their story when they go to a concert?
I don't mind one concert clip, but if I got to
When like 10 people you know are at the same concert
and
and
they
they're all
just
posting
film
it.
the entire concert,
Yeah.
the
The fireworks is probably worse though, because like you said, literally every person in America is in sight of fireworks on 4th of July.
Yeah, for some reason, people want to share their fireworks on their. Hey, I get it. Like, take a quick picture, capture the moment, so you can
keep
remember
it
it
for
forever.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah. But once you start forcing that on me, it's like, come on, guys. I'm gonna see fireworks here at Dow Diamond. I'm gonna see fireworks the next day.
I
here
might
at Dow
record
Diamond.
all the fireworks, just send it just to you.
989-837-6125. 4th of July, overrated, properly rated, or underrated. We're going to jump into some Tigers All-Star stuff next because, well, it is the 3rd of July today, and the Tigers got 3 All-Star starters announced yesterday. Riley Greene, Javier Baez, Gleyber Torres. What a great day for the Tigers fans. Made some history yesterday. Let's go over it here on the Ben Bosscher Show on this Thursday. As always, the Ben Bosscher Show is live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. And I will say this. Since we are a little bit taking tomorrow's show off, we are going to do a little bit of a 4th of July special here on the Ben Bosscher Show on this 3rd of July. So this is a fun show. We've got a lot of good stuff planned out for you guys. Got a little Mount Rushmore coming up. Got a little Joey Chestnut coming up. And some more Tigers conversations because this All-Star thing, each All-Star, Gleyber Torres, Riley Greene, and Javier Baez, there's a different circumstance for all these guys. And I want to go over that when we come back. But if you do look to have some parties here on the 4th of July, and for some reason people are inside, you got to make sure your floors are up to date. If you have boring floors or like a sad shower, Premier Tile & Stone is here to rescue your surfaces from the snooze zone. These folks turn tile into art, whether it's kitchens, bathrooms, backsplashes, fireplaces. If it holds still, they'll make it look beautiful. Look locally owned in Midland, but their work looks like it belongs in a magazine that charges $15 an issue. Giant selection of fancy stuff, porcelain, ceramic, natural stone, and probably materials you can't even pronounce, but you'll definitely love it. Stop dreaming, start scheming, visit the showroom, and let your inner interior designer run wild. That's Premier Tile & Stone, where your floors get fabulous and grouts get glorious. We'll be right back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
3 Tigers All-Stars, Gleyber Torres, Riley Greene, Javier Baez ends up being in the All-Star game, not only in the All-Star game, but as a starter. You know, I had 2 thoughts initially when that got revealed yesterday at 7 o'clock. I guess I had 3 with one of all these guys. My first thought was Javier Baez might have one of the strangest Major League Baseball careers I can remember, and I would challenge anyone to find me a stranger career. And I'm sure you can. There's 150 years of this league's history. There's got to be a stranger career out there. But just in terms of modern history, you've got a guy who comes up through this Cubs system and then really breaks onto the scene, wins a World Series early on, and gets himself into this all-star conversation. You know, this is not his first time in the all-star game. It's his third. Wins a World Series, is one of the more electrifying players in baseball, then ends up getting traded to the Mets in exchange for Pete Crow Armstrong, who's, of course, possibly winning an MVP this year. So just a weird wrinkle there. Basically gets booed out of town in New York. Comes to Detroit on this massive contract. Everyone's so excited to see Javier Baez play for the Tigers, even though he was somewhat of a consolation prize because Correa was the big prize that season, that offseason. And then becomes, this isn't an overstatement, the worst player in baseball for about a 3-year stretch. Finally gets healthy this offseason, switches positions, and now is back in the All-Star game as a starter. Does he really deserve a spot in the outfield since he hasn't played there in a month and probably won't play there again this year as long as Parker Meadows is healthy? Probably not, but I'm not going to be picky about it. He's a fan favorite, and for that reason, he got voted into the All-Star game as a starter. So they have 2 outfielders, Riley Greene, Javier Baez, Aaron Judge, the other outfielder out there. Some pretty elite company for Javi Baez out there, which leads me to Riley Greene. I was at the golf range yesterday, playing 18 later today, no big deal, locked in. But I was at the golf range listening to Dan Dickerson when the news broke that the Tigers were going to have 3 All-Stars. And we all knew Riley Greene was going to be an All-Star for the 2nd consecutive year. That wasn't a secret. He was pretty much locked in as a starter too. But when it finally got announced, this might sound a little corny of me, and I'm going to let my fans show a little bit here, but I almost I didn't cry, but I got a little bit emotional because it was like this is the kid that we drafted, and I say we like I'm part of the Tigers organization, but it's like if you're just putting yourself in the shoes of a diehard fan, which at the end of the day, like that's why I'm in this business, to watch a guy go from being drafted 5th overall in high school and you just for no reason have hopeless optimism that he is going to be the reason that your franchise turns things around when you are in the middle of being the worst team in baseball for a good 5-year stretch, and that 5-year stretch is nowhere near over. But you take Riley Greene in 2019. I'm still in high school at the time, so he's like basically, he's not a peer to me, but kind of. And to watch him go through the minor league system and just have hope that he's going to be the reason you turn things around. He's going to be a future All-Star. Yes, he's in the All-Star game last year as a reserve, not as a starter, and it was finally coming to fruition a little bit. But now he's legitimately put himself in a conversation to where he is one of the best players in baseball, and he's in the middle of the best stretch of his entire career. So for him to be starting out in the outfield as a 24-year-old in the All-Star game, it almost got me, like I said, a little bit emotional because it was like, this is the guy that we thought was going to turn this franchise around. And he's done exactly that. Now he has solidified himself as a multi-time All-Star. Only 24 years old. That's the thing that everyone forgets about Riley Greene because it feels like he's the veteran leader on this team. The team's identity is somewhat built around him. The grind every single day. First one in, last one to leave type mentality. Stay about your business and just always trying to improve. This whole gritty mindset that the Tigers have kind of embraced, I think it starts with him, and I think everyone in that clubhouse does look up to him. It's what Dan Dickerson always talks about. It's what Benetti always talks about. It's what the sideline people always talk about, how this team has kind of embraced Riley Greene's identity, and you forget that he's 24 years old because he's been in the majors since he was 21. And there was always so much, I don't know if pressure on him was the right word, but there was always the hope of, Riley, this is your team. Riley, this is your team and your franchise. They gave him the keys to this car so early, and now he's upgraded that car and turned it into a party bus with all of his teammates in the back. This has been such a great sight to watch, and now that Riley Greene is officially a bona fide two-time All-Star, one of the best players in the league, if we're being honest. Top 10 in home runs, top 10 in OPS, top 5 in RBI. Like, this has been such an incredible run to watch Riley Greene truly play like one of the best players in baseball. I thought for him to be rewarded as an all-star starter at 24 years old, this is only the first of what I think is going to be many times that he is playing in the all-star game in the outfield as a starter, because he's playing the best ball of his career. He's gotten better every single year. There's no reason to think that he's not going to continue to improve, because right now it feels like he's put it all together. He's got the power. He's hitting a tick below 300 right now. This has been an incredible season to watch Riley Greene put together on both ends of the field. And then you have Gleyber Torres, 3-time All-Star now, first-time starter, first time with Detroit, obviously, but he kind of ran away with the second base voting for, like, this was the least surprising part of it. It's not even really a competition who the second best or who the best second baseman in the American League was with the season that Gleyber Torres is having. Probably the best, or at least the most consistent quality at bats in this Tigers lineup. I know we love Riley Greene, and we'll live with the strikeouts if it means he's putting up these kind of numbers, like OPS-wise, home run-wise, even just the hits-wise. You'll live with the strikeouts, but Gleyber is one of these guys that's basically impossible to get to strike out. We saw Skeens do it, and it was like, that doesn't happen very much. Just quality at bats, time in, time out, always works the count, always going to try to get ahead in the count. Those three guys have just been such a joy to watch this season, and for it to all come together and the Tigers to have 3 All-Stars, it really feels like the Tigers are in the middle of a special season, and I don't need to explain that to anyone. I think everyone's kind of well aware, but there are some moments in a 162-game season when you kind of do have to stop, take a step back, look at what you have been experiencing and enjoying as a fan, and you have to take a moment to appreciate how fun of a baseball season this has been so far. And I think yesterday, getting 3 starters announced in the All-Star game is, in fact, one of those moments where you kind of got to take a step back and realize, hey, man, I know October's where you really got to win, and the World Series is the goal at the end of the day. Like, haven't accomplished anything yet, but sometimes you do have to stop and be like, this has been so enjoyable. Whatever happens in October is going to happen, but this really has been a special season for this Detroit Tigers team.
Yeah, I mean, you match it up with the Dodgers, the star team out west. They have 3 All-Star starters too, man. Like, the Tigers are right there, even on a popular level. You know, this is a lot based on the fan vote. It's just crazy to think about how at the end of last season, there was still doubt coming into this year of, like, they did something crazy last year. Mm-hmm. Are they going to be able to use that momentum coming into 2025 and be the best team in this division? Remember the odds coming into the year? 4 teams, all basically similar odds to win the division. Mm-hmm. No one knew. It has been not even a question. They've been blowing all these other teams out all year as far as this division goes. Like, it really is, like you said, sometimes even when the games happened last night where Tommy Kahnle kind of blows it, Tigers lose, you do have to kind of zoom out a little bit and be like, man, this season still rocks. And to your Riley Greene point, I want to ask you something, Ben. Where do you think Riley Greene places in American League MVP right now, odds-wise?
Well, the odds...
Not the odds, but just the placement.
I know. I was going to say he could be second and still like plus 1,000 because Aaron Judge is probably minus 2.
Judge is minus 1,400.
Jeez, man.
Which is unreal.
Cal Raleig's probably second. I'll say third.
Good guess. He's fourth. His teammate is third, and Tarek Skubal.
What are both?
But
of their
Riley
odds?
Greene is fourth. We had this conversation preseason. You and I both agreed. Crazy that Riley Greene was being mentioned as potentially an MVP winner. But he has just been, like, in that conversation. You know, he's not on the Judge level, but like you take Judge out of things, there's a potential debate there.
What are his odds?
He's plus 12,000. Cal Raleigh plus 700. Scuba plus 900 or 9,000. So,
yeah, the Tigers have the record.
It's a two-man race right now.
Not that the record matters very much for MVP in baseball, but like, I don't know, say Judge were to go down for a little bit, not wishing that upon anybody, but like, and then Raleigh's just bound to cool off. He kind of already has a little bit.
And this isn't even a Riley Greene MVP case. I think it's just to show like that's how good of a season he truly is having at this point.
989-837-6125. Your reaction to 3 different Tigers being in the All-Star game announced yesterday. Still possibly more to come with the reserves. Zach McKinstry's name being thrown around a lot. Tarek Skubal obviously going to be in contention to start that All-Star game. And who knows, maybe a Will Vest can get in at some point too. Tigers do split the doubleheader yesterday. It looked like they were going to have a little bit of a rally late in the game, and then Tommy Kahnle came in and blew that. So Tommy Kahnle coming to the clubhouse with no body hair today. Shout out if you get that joke.
Oh, I forgot.
Shaves his entire body when he gives up runs. Gave up a lot of runs yesterday.
Yeah, if he gives up 5, what does that mean?
Bald. Have to be. All right, we'll take one more break, come back, and we'll get to the mid-morning catch, but I do have to tell you about the Midland Community Foundation because the Midland Area Community Foundation is dedicated to strengthening our community through generosity and connection, supporting local nonprofits, scholarships, and projects that make Midland a better place to live, work, and play. Your donations help fund vital programs in education, health, the arts, and more right here at home. Partner with the foundation to leave a lasting legacy and create positive change for generations to come. Get involved, give back, or learn more at midlandareacf.org. Together we build a stronger Midland that is one gift, one idea, and one heart at a time.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last night for Great Lakes, a 5-2 victory over the Whitecaps behind great pitching, 12 Ks and limiting the Caps to just 4 hits. Offense did come, and it came early for Great Lakes. 3 runs through the first 2 innings, all from Mike Sirota. A 2-ribby single in the second gave Great Lakes the lead. They never relinquished. Wind-up kick and pitch. Sirota swings, lashes it to left center, a base hit. Rodriguez scores. George hits third, and before the ball even gets to the infield, he's across. 2-run single for Mike Sirota, a 3-ribby night, and it's 3-1 Great Lakes. Still early here in the second. The Loons go for a sweep on the road before returning home for the 4th of July. Action tonight in West Michigan starts at 7:05.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. As a business owner, you might be struggling with today's technological advancements in the IT arena and how they could benefit your growing business. Let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
At Aird Insurance Group, they're more than just policies. They're your trusted partners in protecting what matters most.
Whether it's auto, home, life, or business insurance, their team takes the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage for your unique situation.
With personalized service and unbeatable rates, Aird Insurance Group makes protecting your future easy.
Call Aird Insurance Group today and see why their clients trust them to keep them covered.
Aird Insurance Group.
The experience matters.
It's July, it's hot, and Bounce and Bites is bringing the splash. Every bounce house, slide, and inflatable at our event will be soaked and ready for action. Water slides, splash zones, and giant slip and slides. Bring your swimsuits, towels, and sunscreen. We'll have the food trucks, the music, and a whole lot of good vibes. It's free to attend, and every dollar raised helps local kids get involved in sports, music, and more through the Moody Foundation. Join us Sunday, July 20th in Midland. Details at bounceandbites.com. The word bounce, the letter N, the word bites.com. The Moody Foundation, making a splash for a great cause.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. It's 9:30, which means it's time to hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Sandman, what do you got for us today?
All right. We don't have like a ton of news today, I won't lie. But it's 4th of July, so we obviously got the Nathan's hot dog eating contest tomorrow. Not really news, but worth mentioning. Joey Chestnut. He's back this year, man. The GOAT returns. The GOAT of all GOATs, as I like to call him.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but he is a 16-time
well, he is the most
Nathan's
dominant
hot
player
dog
in his
eating-
sport of any player ever.
Is this a sport or is this a competition?
Isn't all sports a competition?
Yeah, but not all competitions are sports. You want to really start pissing people off? Do you? Do you want to?
Is a spelling bee a sport?
No. That's a competition.
though. Okay. That's fair.
I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole and start naming, is this a sport? Is this not a sport?
We can. Is hot dog eating probably isn't a sport. But here's my take.
It's competitive eating, that's all it is.
If I can bet on it, on FanDuel Sportsbook, on DraftKings Sportsbook, that has the word sports in it, then I would say it's a sport.
That's honestly a good point. I still don't think it's a sport, though. It's an
Okay,
event.
that's
It's an
valid.
event. Because you can bet on the coin toss of a Super Bowl. That doesn't make the coin toss a sport.
That is just not the same thing. That is something that
How
is
is it
happening at a sport. It's part of the sport.
I don't know, man. It feels more like just a competition. You know?
You're right. It does feel
There's
like
no
more competition.
athletic. I don't know. I'm going to start making people mad, so I'm just going to stop
There,
talking.
yeah, I wouldn't go the athletic route there. Okay, Clayton Kershaw last night, former Loon, by the way, 3,000 career
Wait, what?
strikeouts.
Wait, Clayton Kershaw's a former Loon?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. It's a good bit you're doing.
Sorry, I cut you off.
3,000 career strikeouts, though, for Clayton Kershaw. Pretty awesome to see. Had a pretty cool standing ovation from the crowd as well when he got it. And yeah, good to see him healthy this year as well, so far.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, Tigers split with the Nationals in the doubleheader. Tonight, Game 3 back in Washington, 6:45 first pitch. Dietrich Enns versus James Irvin.
Fire up, man. Love me some Dietrich Enns. Honestly, though, like his last start was so good that I've kind of been looking forward to the next time he takes the bump.
That's fair. I'm not going to lie, a little nervous for Dietrich Enns. Good news is a lot of the mashers in this Nationals lineup are lefties. But definitely a little, it's going to be hard to repeat what he did last time. Okay, yesterday, NBA news. Not a ton of free agency news from yesterday's show, but the big one, the Lakers finally did something. They signed DeAndre Ayton, former first overall pick, which that'll make people think a type of way about him. 2-year deal to the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge upgrade over Jackson Hayes. It can't be understated, but at the end of the day...
he's not that good.
He's got all the talent to be good. He just doesn't try very. Do you remember the day that he didn't make it to a Blazers game because of the snow in his driveway?
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's like me going to like skipping school one day. You're skipping class in college. It's like, I don't know. It feels pretty cold outside. I'm probably just going to call it today.
Yeah,
Freaking
instead
NBA
of
player doing that.
You paying to go to college, you are literally getting paid. But no, the snow.
Millions. Yeah.
Millions.
No, that kind of just, like that story I feel like has summed up DeAndre Ayton's entire career.
Yes.
And that Devin Booker quote where he's like, yeah, he was playing really hard today against us. Wish he'd do that every night. Okay.
Dominating, man. Dominating. More NBA news. Mike Brown, officially the new Knicks head coach. Finally, they hire someone. Seems like a pretty good move. They wanted to get a vet type of coach. Didn't seem like a first-year guy was the play. Former coach of the year with the Sacramento Kings a few years ago will be in Madison Square Garden.
Is winning coach of the year a bad thing? Because how many times
Not that
do you
it's a
hear,
bad thing, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't like
Correct.
solidify your job security.
I feel like it does the opposite. Because all these guys that win coach of the year, it's like, yeah, they were great, but they didn't win a championship, so goodbye.
Yeah. And one of the guys who has never won coach of the year, Eric Spoelstra, longest tenured coach in the NBA.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Red Wings news yesterday. Mason Appleton, former Winnipeg Jet, signs with the Wings on a 2-year deal, $2.9 million per year.
Good move, cheap contract. It still doesn't make that big a difference in how I view this Red Wings team as of right now, though. You're going to have to get creative. I'd like a splash trade at some point for Yzerman.
We'll see. It seems like they were planning something, but obviously still a ton of time to go in free agency, so we'll see. Last thing on the news, like I said, not a ton today. U.S. versus Mexico will be playing in the Gold Cup final in soccer on Sunday. After the U.S. won in the semifinal, Mexico won in the semifinal.
What is this in?
Soccer.
Yeah, I know, but like what league
I don't know.
is this?
It's the Gold Cup.
What is the Gold Cup?
I told you, dude, I'm not a soccer guy.
I don't know what that is. This isn't the Olympics. This isn't the FIFA World Cup.
Well, I know
this
there's
is the
been a lot
Gold
of
Cup.
complaining about it because it's not like all the stars playing in it. It's like the World Cup, the FIBA, when the U.S. men's didn't send all the star players or whatever because they just didn't care because they waited for the Olympics. People have been kind of talking about it in that light.
Okay.
Like Pulisic's
Interesting.
not playing in it.
So this is, you said USA versus Mexico on Sunday for the title? For the cup?
Yes.
For the cup? All right.
Into Gold Cup final, yes. We need our boy Ryan Glinsky to hop in the chat and explain.
Is he a soccer guy?
He's a big soccer guy, yes. So yeah, that's it for the news.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. All right, when we come back, we have to go over something that's 4th of July related. It would be un-American of us to not do a Mount Rushmore here today on our 4th of July episode of the Ben Bosscher Show. Afterwards, after the Ben Bosscher Show, not that anyone cares, I'm golfing. And I teeing up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem where every round feels like a little getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, all class. Perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. I'm probably the one being talked smack to because I'm usually, I don't know, plus 40 by then.
It's kind of rude to talk smack to the guy that's just not playing good, though, right?
Yeah, that's
But it is going to be happening today.
It definitely will be happening. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make your buddies jealous. Whether you're a weekend warrior or just there for the vibes, Sandy Ridge brings the game and the chill. Book a tee time, plan your outing, or stop by and pretend you know how to read a green. That's Sandy Ridge Golf Course, the hidden gem that's way too good of a golf course to say a secret. We'll be right back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter. where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
The doctors at Midland Eye Care want you to know a comprehensive eye exam is the only way to protect and detect vision-related disease. It goes beyond improved vision from glasses or contact lenses. Many common eye diseases such as glaucoma, diabetic eye disease, and age-related macular degeneration often have no warning signs. A dilated eye exam is the only way to detect these diseases in their early stages. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
The Michigan Baseball Foundation is more than just baseball. It's a driver of economic growth and community. Operating one of the nation's top minor league stadiums, MBF supports job creation and regional development. Through creative partnerships and charitable giving, MBF has helped bring projects like Dow Diamond, the East End Development, Fairfield Inn and Suites, the Plaza, and the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to life, generating over $23 million annually in economic impact. Every Great Lakes Loons ticket supports these efforts. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Get ready, Michigan. Field of Frames Fest presented by Dow is taking over Dow Diamond September 26th through 28th. It's the ultimate celebration of gaming, esports, and community, bringing together fans, families, players, and industry pros for a 3-day festival like no other. Watch elite teams battle in high-stakes competition, the Valorant Collegiate Invitational and Rocket League Semi-Pro Showdown, each with $10,000 prize pools, a $5,000 Super Smash Bros. Open Tournament, and a 17U Fortnite Youth Tournament with $1,000 up for grabs. There's live music, entertainment, and activities for all ages, plus educational panels and hands-on workshops for those interested in tech, business, and gaming industries. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 10 and under get in free. Don't miss your chance to be part of a landmark event. Visit fieldofFramesFest.com to grab your tickets today. Field of Frames. Experience the element of gaming.
Wackadoo! Bluey and her little sister Bingo are joining the Great Lakes Loons again this summer for Red, White, and Bluey Weekend presented by My Michigan How. It's 2 games of fun, laughter, and memories with our favorite Blue healer. Whether it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, don't miss out. For tickets, visit loons.com. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit. Because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. It's kind of our 4th of July special here. So in honor of the 4th of July, we're going to do a little bit of a Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore current faces of Detroit sports. That simple. Who are the faces of the 4 teams in Detroit? Here's the caveat, though. You do not have to include all 4 teams. I personally did not, because I think there's one team that's a little bit unworthy of having someone on there right now. The other caveat is you do not have to do only athletes, all right? You can do figures, you can do coaches, you can do owners or GMs if you so desire. Kyle has a Mount Rushmore. I have a Mount Rushmore. I will go first. I'll do the person who I believe we both have on there. First person I have on there, Cade Cunningham, without a doubt on this list.
Don't touch me, I'm sizzling.
Riley Greene, for me. Dan Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson. That's my 4.
Whoa, really? That is kind of surprising. Riley Greene is the second guy, kind of shocked me.
And there's no ranking in a Mount Rushmore. It's just the 4 guys.
No, but just the fact that it was the second guy named, you know.
There was no rhyme or reason for the order I named the people.
Right.
Just to be clear. But yeah, it's Riley Greene, Dan Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson, Cade Cunningham. I do not have a Red Wing on here because they're in the middle of a 9-year playoff drought, and I don't think anyone is worthy of being on it.
I don't think there is a Red Wing that is like really in debate. Like Larkin potentially just because the face. It was a chance of Lucas Raymond a couple years ago, like if he really excelled.
If you want a Red Wing on there, I suggest they make the playoffs first.
That's fair. Fair point. Okay, the guys that I have also on my list that you had, Dan Campbell for sure. Like if we're talking faces of Detroit sports, he might be, you know, the George Washington of this, of the Mount Rushmore. I also have Cade. I think Cade's a lock. Like definitely the superstar of the Pistons, up and coming team. After that, I don't have any of the same 2 guys. Sounds kind of crazy. Tarek Skubal, for sure. Like Riley Greene over Skubal, man. I love Riley, but we've already had this kind of debate of like who's the face of the Tigers.
Let me lay out the Riley Greene case like for 30
for sure.
seconds, because I know we've done it before, so I don't want to repeat it, but quick summary of it. Riley Greene drafted right out of high school. We've seen Riley Greene for much longer. We've seen him in a lot more games. I think we drafted him out of high school with the purpose of being the face of the franchise, and I don't think he's done anything to have that taken away from him. He was given the keys to this franchise at 21 years old when he made his debut, and he's been nothing but phenomenal since that moment. I get it. Tarek Skubal, Cy Young winner, best player on the team, but what do we always talk about? We're worried about him leaving in free agency. Riley Greene is not going anywhere.
But like this is the Mount Rushmore of Detroit sports currently.
Let me ask you this: do you want to change? No. Let me ask you this: you want to change? Like, you know how hard it is to change the sculpture of a Mount Rushmore if Tarek Skubal ends up leaving in free agency in a year and a half?
Good.
You want to go through the entire process of sculpting a new face? It's going to take years.
Yeah, Cade Cunningham's going to ask out in a year with them signing Duncan Robinson anyways. So it's
I don't know about that. Cade's not going any. Like Riley's not going anywhere, so he's gonna get the spot on the Mount Rushmore for me.
That's fair. I just figured they would both be on here. Like just not having. It's not the fact that you have Riley on. It's the fact that you don't have Skubal on.
I gotta go 2 Lions.
I also went 2 Lions, but I think that because my 3 guys locks: Campbell, Cade, Skubal. The 4th spot is really up for debate. Riley Greene was in talks. I think Jared Goff is really in the discussion. But after that Commanders game, nah. He can go be on some other thing. I was going to name another sculpture, but I don't really have one on the
He's just visiting the monument. He's looking at it.
To me, it's between Hutch, Gibbs, and Sewell. I'm going with Penei Sewell over Aiden Hutchinson.
I love that.
Just because of the small chance that Aiden Hutchinson doesn't return to where he was post-injury. I obviously hate to be that guy. No one wants to think about the potential of that happening. And him being from Michigan probably gives him a bigger face.
Well, Kyle, you can make the case for Sewell without saying anything bad about Hutchinson.
Well, yeah, and that's where I'm going. Sewell just fits everything about Detroit, man. Just a beast. The grit. The dirty work. Like, just the man of all men. Penei Sewell is, for me, the lone Lions player that makes the list. And also, like, Probably a Lion for life. Like, probably the guy that, if you had to lock down one guy as a Lion for life on the team right now, I would say it's Penei Sewell.
I would too, and I'd also say he is by far the most likely person on the Lions right now that I can say with any real confidence is like, yep, going to the Hall of Fame. Like, without a doubt on my mind, going to the Hall of Fame.
I think you're right on that for sure. We talked about Gibbs being the best offensive guy in the Lions potentially, but at the end of the day, he's a running back, and those guys just really don't stay on the same team forever.
Yeah, and he hasn't done it quite yet, so I don't think he can be that face. But we both have Campbell, and I think that's important and interesting because it's like he does embody everything that the Lions have built, and I think that stems from him. And it's pretty rare to have a coach, especially a coach that hasn't won a Super Bowl or anything like that, as one of the faces of the city, but his approval rating is still just through the roof. And I get it, there's some people that don't like the fourth down thing, but in terms of what he's built, like, I feel like Detroit's ready to build a statue of this guy already, and he's only been here for 4 seasons. You know what I mean? That's never going to change as long as he's still the coach. And there's very few coaches that I could say in the NFL, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be there for the next 5 seasons. Their job is super secure. He's in that rare territory where he's done so much for the Lions in comparison to what the 30 years prior to him looked like, that I feel like he's just, and with what they've built and how sustainable this looks for minimum 5 more years, even if they're not the best offense in football, he's always going to be one of these guys that it's just like he's locked into being the head coach, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's no threat.
Who do you think the next non-athlete would be to potentially be on here? AJ Hinch, Brad Holmes.
I just don't know if anyone else
Sheila
even
Hamp.
qualifies. Like,
well,
you know
I'm
how
just saying
hard it
if
is
there had
for
to
a
be
coach?
another one.
Probably AJ Hinch, who's probably going to win Manager of the Year, but like,
right.
I don't even know if it compares to
It
what
could have been
Dan
Stevie
Campbell
Y,
has
man.
built.
The blueprint was just laid out for it to be him.
Yeah, and he crumpled up the blueprint and threw it out the window and was like, hey guys, you want to see the world's slowest rebuild? Watch this. This is going to be epic. No, I don't. I think it's pretty hard for a coach to get on there. That's why this Campbell thing. Like, how many other cities would even have a coach on there?
Right.
Maybe Kansas City, but that'd probably be like Bobby Witt, Mahomes, Kelsey, and I guess probably Andy Reid. Right.
Right. Like Miami would probably have Spo on there. San Antonio would have Popovich, even though he's done now.
Yeah, not anymore.
These guys are just legends. You know, Campbell's only been there for like 4 years.
Yeah, and has won 2 playoff games.
Right, exactly. But it's 2 more than the franchise had ever won before.
Yeah, I think Dan Campbell's a lock to be on. I'd be curious to see if we threw this out there for everyone. How many people wouldn't have Dan Campbell on there? What percent of people would not have Dan Campbell on there? I'd be willing to say it's less than 15%.
I would agree. I mean, he for sure deserves a spot. I do got to ask you, though, before we go to break.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the 4 guys that are on Mount Rushmore?
Like
just the real one?
route?
Yeah.
Washington. Lincoln.
Yep.
Roosevelt.
Yeah, well, which one? He's like, there's 2 Roosevelts?
Theodore?
Yes, Teddy Roosevelt. It's right here on the YouTube stream, if you can tell by the faces.
I'm trying not to look at it.
This one's probably the hardest one.
Wait, did I already say Lincoln?
Yeah, you have Lincoln, Washington, and Roosevelt. This is probably the hardest one.
Oh, my God.
I saw a clip of this on YouTube of someone doing this, and they got those 3, and their 4th guess was just ridiculous.
This is embarrassing.
It is a president, if that helps.
I know it's a president, but I don't know if I know. You're going to have to tell me. I don't know.
Really early president, if that helps. Like super early. One of the first 3. I can tell you, though, if you want me to.
This Jefferson?
Yes. It's Thomas Jefferson. Nice.
Let's go. That was real panicky there for a second. I don't know if I was going to name that.
Hey, just took a little bit of time, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, sometimes you got to sit back and you got to think before you speak, and that is A-okay. Man, if you went to was he second or third?
Pretty sure he was the 3rd president.
Okay. Yeah, no.
That's just off the dome, though.
Okay. That was almost embarrassing. Thanks for putting me on the spot like that.
For sure.
Glad I was able to get it, though. 989-837-6125. It is the Ben Bosscher Show, the 4th of July special here on 100.9 The Mitt. 10 o'clock hour, here's what we've got coming up. Malik Monk actually might end up being a Piston. And now that they've given us another sliver of hope that this is possible, I am going to be deeply saddened if this does not happen. My hope is up. My expectations are up. Now I want this to happen. And if it doesn't, bad news. We've got an Around the League coming up, another 4th of July draft. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford. From Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning. 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman. Football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
10 o'clock hour on the way, the 4th of July edition of the Ben Bosscher Show right here live on 100.9 The Mitt and YouTube as well. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Kyle, we got some news last night. The rumor mill is back up. The windmill is spinning on it. It sounds like after all that complaining that we did the last few days that the Pistons weren't able to do anything, this whole Dennis Schroeder sign and trade to Sacramento in return for Malik Monk might actually still be on the table. There's a third team involved, alleged, and that might be the holdup. But it turns out after all that, Malik Monk might be a Piston after all. And now that we have given this, we've been given a sliver of hope that this could happen, I am going to be extremely disappointed if it doesn't happen here. Recap. You lose out on Dennis Schroeder. He's going to Sacramento somehow. It's just a matter of whether they sign him straight up or it's a sign and trade with the Pistons with someone else in return. But it sounds like Sacramento wants to get off Malik Monk, and I hear that as a Pistons fan. I'm like, fine by me, man. No idea what you want to do that for, unless you're really trying to rebuild here and put yourself in the tank, because Malik Monk's one of these guys who's been a 6th Man of the Year candidate, one of the better scorers off the bench, 3-level scorer, lights out from behind the arc, can get to the rim and put someone on a poster, does that a few times a year too. This is someone who actually provides a spark offensively and isn't just a give me the ball and get out of the way type of guy. You can put him in the corner. You can give him the ball and tell everyone to get out of the way. But he's one of those players that any team would want coming off the bench, because he's just one of those spark plug type of guys who can electrify an offense in a handful of different ways. He's not the best defender in the world, but that's not what the Pistons would be asking him to do. This addition, I think, helps Cade not have to play centric hero ball for the entire course of every single minute he's out there. It would help Ivy, because Malik Monk can be someone who, kind of initiates a little bit of offense too. This is a really exciting player, and now that it's been dingled in front of my face not once but twice that Monk could become a Piston, I'm setting myself up for potential disappointment, but it does feel like this is a real possibility.
This would be the best guard next to Cade of his career so far, if they do acquire Malik Monk.
Yeah,
right?
He's a better player than Jaden Ivey right now.
Yeah, for sure, which Ivy definitely has a higher ceiling, but Monk is a very good NBA player.
If Jaden Ivey became Malik Monk and they had the same career, that'd be a thumbs up career, right? Malik Monk has had a really good NBA career.
He's had a good NBA career, for sure. 6th Man of the Year, a really good player. Just for reference on why this is happening, or at least the example of what could happen, the Dennis Schroeder signing to the Kings will be a sign and trade with the Pistons. That's already confirmed. It's just the details of how the Pistons are going to get something back that is yet to be confirmed. They can take a player back up to $22 million in salary, because that was how much they were able to pay Schroeder. And if they don't get anyone back, they will get a $14.3 million trade exception that they can use via trade in a different deal. So either way, they're getting something back for Schroeder. It's just the details as far as what that's going to be, that's still up in the air. The good news is the Pistons are going to be adding someone else, or a trade exception that they'll use to trade for someone else.
Right.
So this Pistons roster is not complete, which that's what we discussed on yesterday's show. Man, it looks like this is the offseason. And I do think Langdon did a solid job with the cards that he was dealt to get Robinson, to get LeVert, to replace the guard play and shooting that they lost in Beasley and Schroeder and Hardaway. But now it looks like they're going to have a chance to add potentially something else. They will add something else. So we'll see what happens. I really hope it's Malik Monk. He's probably the best player available that they could get.
He's not only that the Pistons could get, he might be the best player that's just available across the league right now. This is, like I said, someone who's
that might be a stretch.
Well, who's available that's better than that? Unless you're saying
Lillard.
LeBron. Yeah, but Damian Lillard's not playing this season.
Right.
Unless you want to throw LeBron is available at me, which I guess I can't dispute.
No,
but
you're
in
right.
terms of a realistic guy who's probably getting moved here.
Yeah, the Kings want to move off of Monk because they want to acquire someone else.
Right.
Which the Kings are doing the Kings.
Kings are doing King stuff. Yeah, 17 points a game last season. That was a career high for Malik Monk at only age 26. He came into the league when he was 19. But someone who's mostly come off the bench in his career, he did start 45 games last season. Not as great as I just kind of think of him from behind the arc for his career. 35% from out there, but I don't know. It's definitely not someone you can leave open.
The first so many years of his career was not great in Charlotte.
No, but
then
it's
he
pretty
really
hard to
took
have
off.
a career in Charlotte that's successful.
Right. Well, and also last year he was overtaxed with playing point guard, right? The Kings traded away De'Aaron Fox, literally didn't have another point guard, and they were like, okay, Malik Monk, you're the point guard now.
Right, which is probably
Now when he
part
comes
of
to
the reason
Detroit-
his three-point percentage was down from his career.
Exactly. A ton of off-the-dribble stuff last year.
But now you'd be playing alongside Cade, who it feels like a lot of these guys who play alongside Cade have one of the better years of their career, like Malik Monk or Malik Beasley, perfect example of that. Not saying Monk would come in and just have the best year of his career, but I think that's kind of on the table, especially considering the year Beasley just had and who you're trying to replace. Is he the same lights-out shooter? No, but he's someone that you can stretch the floor, same first name, which I think is somewhat ironic. And then it's someone you have to close out on in a way better way than Malik Beasley was able to. Monk can make you pay for closing out a little bit too hard, get to the rim and put your center on a poster. Like, that's the part that gets me excited about Monk, because he can do it off the dribble. The Kings asked him to do it last season, but he's also just a better player when Cade or someone else would have the ball in his hands. This to me would be such a win for the Pistons.
This would be a home run.
Yes, that's the best way to put it. It would be a home run for the Pistons in a way where all of a sudden I'm convincing myself, all right, with the addition of Ivy, with the addition of Monk, maybe they aren't missing out on Malik Beasley all that much. Maybe they aren't missing out on Dennis Schroeder and Tim Hardaway Jr. this much, because you replace Dennis Schroeder with someone like Malik Monk, who's just a better player than him. You bring back Jaden Ivey. You still have your shooters in Duncan Robinson, but all of a sudden Duncan Robinson's not going to be like this heavily relied on player because you added one more guy like Malik Monk. They're probably going to add another guy regardless, but if they can add someone with the pedigree that Malik Monk has, not that he's like some all-star by any stretch of the imagination, but is one of the better players off the bench and has been for the past 5 years in the NBA. This would be an enormous win for the Pistons. And now that it's been dangled in front of my face, I'm going to be so angry if it doesn't end up happening.
Yeah, and it sounds like the reason why the Kings also want to sign Russell Westbrook, and it sounds like Russ doesn't want to come to Sacramento unless Monk is moved. So that seems to be their reasoning behind this, so Russ still has a big role. The part that excites me most about the Pistons potentially getting Monk is how good he is in the break. If you just looked up Malik Monk highlights from Sacramento last couple years, he has plenty of fast break poster dunks. Imagine him and Asar and Ivy out on the run, or how good of a passer Cade is in the break. Like, that's a spot where the Pistons were super good last year, was off of turnovers, pushing the ball in transition. Monk is an elite transition player. Beasley was too, but he was a good guy to stretch the floor in transition. Monk can finish at the rack as well.
And Monk can stretch the floor too. Like, I know he had a down year from 3 last year, but
for sure.
He's not someone you can just leave open out there. A transition lineup of Cade, Ivy, Asar, Monk, and Duren. That is probably one of the scarier transition teams in the league.
Yeah, that's a fast team, man.
That's a fast team who still has an on-ball defender like Asar Thompson that could just kind of shut down the other team's best guy and provide that spark in the transition game. And Cade to me last year became one of the best players in the NBA in transition with the ball in his hands, just because if there's a guard in front of him.
Always made the right decision.
Always made the right decision, but if there's a guard in front of him, he showed time and time again, like, most of these guards in the NBA just can't stay in front of him. He's too big. And then if they end up collapsing the paint on someone, he's just always going to end up making the right play. Even if it's like full court passes and stuff like that. Just consistently one of the more dominating players in transition. And then Asar, obviously just a weapon for Cade in transition, who's also a lot of the time starting the break because he's forcing a turnover at the hands of the other team's ball handler. So I'm now so fascinated with this Malik Monk situation that if they're unable to get him, all of a sudden I think this offseason somewhat becomes disappointing. Not to say that like it's a disaster of an offseason, because at the end of the day you added Jaden Ivey. Though. Yeah, and at the end of the day you add Jaden Ivey back to the lineup, and if you believe in Jaden Ivey at all, that should be enough to get you a little bit excited. But again, the reason we were upset the last few days is no Dennis Schroeder, no Tim Hardaway Jr., no Malik Beasley. You replaced them with Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert. Two, to me, worse players than the 3 guys we just named, with the exception of maybe Tim Hardaway Jr., but I don't know. You get Malik Monk in the building, and suddenly I can start talking myself into, okay, the Pistons, top 4 seed. Okay, the Pistons can win some playoff series. Like, that's a guy with pedigree who would help Cade Cunningham and vice versa as well. That Cade Cunningham would help him kind of hit his potential.
Probably be the second leading scorer on the team next year. Him or Ivy, yeah. Because you expect Tobias Harris to maybe take a step back scoring. I mean, he only averaged like 13 last year. Monk is for sure averaging more than that.
Especially, off the bench, he would be probably shooting more than, like, the same way Beasley kind of shot more than, Beasley averaged 15 a game last year, 16 a game, something like
16.
That. The same way Beasley, the volume of shots he ended up taking, even though he was off the bench, that's the same way Malik Monk would come in and just provide a scoring spark off the bench. 989-837-6125. We'll keep you updated on that. The more we find out about that, hopefully get some positive news throughout the day that this is happening. Because if it's not, I'm just going to be extremely disappointed. 989-837-6125. We've got a trip around the league coming up, but it is the 4th of July after all. You got to put a smile on your face. And to make sure that you have a bright smile is Scott Family Dental. Bright smiles start right there at Scott Family Dental, where comfort care and clean teeth come at a standard. Locally owned by Daniel Scott, a native of the Great Lakes Bay region, the business is family-focused. They treat patients of all ages like their own kids. From routine checkups to whitenings, crowns, and more, they've got all the tools and the gentle touch to keep your smile shining. Friendly staff, modern tech, and zero judgment, even if it's been a while since your last visit. Go ahead, show off those pearly whites on the 4th of July. Scott Family Dental has your back and your teeth. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long with top-notch cooling solutions and simply outstanding service. Plus, with financing options and special rebates, cooling your home has never been more affordable. Answer Heating and Cooling, where comfort is our priority. Try our new schedule online option or call us today.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman Night at Dow Diamond on Saturday, July 12th. The first 1,000 fans through the gates will receive an exclusive Super Lou E bobblehead courtesy of My Michigan Hell. Create a lasting memory after the game as you take in Fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Don't miss this super night of fun. Get your tickets at loons.com. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. It's time to work some football in. Let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
We got a fun one today, Ben.
Oh,
I'm
I
excited
can't wait
for this.
This one's good. This one's real good. I love
this one.
This
Is
type
really
of
good.
stuff.
So yeah, this is an NFL.com article, and they basically titled this 7-round NFL mock draft, building a win now team from active players for 2025 season. So this is basically when you play Madden, right, and click fantasy draft when you start a new franchise, that's this. This is every player in the NFL getting redrafted based on win now, just for 2025.
I love this type of stuff. This is what I always used to do in Madden. I'd restart back when the Lions were terrible back in the day, play Madden, jump on, all of a sudden Peyton Manning's my quarterback. Just like that.
Right,
see what
exactly.
you can do.
I've done this with my friends in like online franchise all the time too. Super fun. So I have a list of questions I want to ask you about this draft. We're not just going to like run through it all. So let's start. I do want to ask you though, who do you think's the first overall pick? The teams don't matter, obviously, just the order of the picks.
If it's not Patrick Mahomes, all of a sudden this entire list becomes invalid. He's one of the he is the best quarterback to ever play.
It's almost like you know it's not Patrick Mahomes.
Is it really not?
Of course it's not. It's the reigning MVP. Josh Allen, numero uno.
It's just so silly. Some people,
Mahomes is too.
Some people convince themselves of just crazy things after a while. You know, you get 7-8 years of Mahomes being the best quarterback we've ever seen, like second best resume ever probably, and he's only halfway through his career. And you've got people convincing themselves that people like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson should be winning MVPs and being drafted ahead of them. It makes no sense. People convince themselves of crazy things when they refuse to believe the truth. And the truth is,
I think a lot of people
Mahomes is the best
disagree
player in the
with
league.
you.
Then okay, we just agree to disagree. Then I cannot actually put together a logical reasoning as to why anyone would take Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson over the guy who beats them every time in the playoffs.
Dang, that was heated Ben right there. All right, guess the top 5. Then we'll get into the questions. In order.
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Joe Burrow.
Yep.
He's 4.
He's 4. This is just for 2025, so remember.
Jaden. No, that's too early.
Yes, not Jaden Daniels. He's 7.
Stroud?
No.
Who's 5?
Stroud is falling down the list.
Really? That's stupid. It's not like Herbert, is it?
It is Herbert.
Really? Okay.
Yes. CJ Stroud, man, is 17. Kyler Murray picked over CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Yeah, I just figured you'd like that one. Brock Purdy as well.
Brock Purdy over CJ Stroud.
Brock Purdy is picked 10. All right, let's get into these list of questions.
What?
Okay, who's the first Lion off the board? And where?
Just based on positional value, it's got to be Aiden Hutchinson. I'd say end of the first round, beginning of the second round?
You're wrong. You're wrong, by the way.
Really?
It's not Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
Based on positional value, you had me in the first half.
Oh, is it Jared Goff?
Yeah, everyone needs a quarterback in this, man. You don't want to not take QB in the first round.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like Hutch is okay. Yeah, no.
But where do you think Goff is taken?
20s. 20.
Goff is 8th.
Okay.
They picked Goff right behind Jaden Daniels.
And ahead of CJ Stroud.
What do you mean? Okay, we've literally
ahead
discussed
of CJ
this.
Stroud.
Goff is a borderline top 10 quarterback. We had him at 9 or 10, right? 8's not crazy.
We were restarting the NFL, and I had my choice between
it's just for 2025.
I know, but if I had my choice between like Jared Goff or Micah Parsons or Justin
good luck
Jefferson,
with Michael Penix as your quarterback.
Okay. I'd just rather have the best edge rusher in the league or the best receiver in the league. Now you got me like, now it looks like I'm hating on Jared Goff.
You are.
I'm not.
Okay, who's the first non-quarterback taken, just in general, and what pick do you think that it's at?
I think it's Micah Parsons, and I think it's in like the 20s.
Parsons is the second non-quarterback taken. It's
what's
at
he
pick
go at?
18. The first non-quarterback goes at pick 14.
If this is just this year, then Saquon.
Nope.
Justin
Good guess.
Jefferson.
Nope, wrong.
Jamar Chase.
Nope, this guy plays the same position as Micah Parsons, though.
TJ Watt.
Nope, not him.
Oh, Myles Garrett.
Yes. Myles Garrett, the best non-quarterback in the league, according to this, picked at number 14. You did just kind of hint at it, but Who's the first running back off the board? Where does he go?
Saquon.
Pick 21.
Okay.
What about the first wide receiver off the board?
Better be Jefferson, man. I'm seeing one too many wide receiver rankings where people are getting cute and putting Jamar Chase number 1. Look, Jamar Chase is awesome, but Justin Jefferson's arguably one of the 3 best receivers.
Kind of crazy, but they're pretty good. They're both pretty good.
I would say they're both pretty good, but Jefferson
is first, yes.
He's the perfect receiver. It's like he was built in a lab.
Jets and Jamar go back to back. Who do you think is picked first between Saquon and Jefferson, though?
I would rather have Jefferson. It feels like receivers are a little bit more important right now, even though there was the resurgence of the running backs last year.
Right.
Not going to take 1 year and run with that as the new standard. So I would say Jefferson goes before both of them.
Saquon goes before. They go Saquon, Jets, Jamar, 3 picks in a row. So it's not like crazy, but okay. How many non-quarterbacks total are picked in the first round? Who's not getting a first-round quarterback?
You already told me Micah. You already told me Garrett. You already told me the 3 offensive players you just named. So minimum 5. I'll throw in 3 more. There's 8 teams that don't have a quarterback by the. I'll just say 10. There's 10 teams that don't have a quarterback at the end of the first round.
You're close. 12. Because I think there is some quarterbacks that you're like, I'm not taking this guy first round. Like, I would rather just get an elite defensive player, which makes sense. But even a guy like Tua goes first round in this.
Oh, come on.
He's picked 29. I don't want to give you all the non-quarterbacks yet because I have a question related to it. But like TJ Watt, like you said, yeah, he's in here. Derrick Henry's in here. Okay, let's ask this question. How many Lions also go in the first round of those 12? Because obviously Jared Goff was already named.
Hutch. I don't think St. Brown would be a first. I'll just say 2.
So just Goff and Hutch?
Yeah.
It's actually just Goff.
Oh, that's a trick question.
They don't take Hutchinson in the first round.
Then he's got to be a second round.
Who is the second Lion off the board?
It's got to be Hutchinson. It's got to be.
It is Hutchinson, yes. Because this is a full 7-round thing, so they give the second round. Hutchinson goes pick 51. Gibbs goes pick 52. Late. Sewell goes pick 53. 3 straight lines.
St. Brown? Oh, okay. Where's St. Brown?
I don't believe he went in the second round. Let me pull up the third round really quick. They have like A.J. Brown, though, going in the first round. Kind of crazy.
Who Amon-Ra has outperformed each of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors all go over St. Brown. Okay, he is at the end of the second round.
Isn't this a win now?
Pick 62.
Isn't this a win now? And Brian Thomas went, okay. All right.
Kind of crazy, right?
Beyond.
And then that's basically it for the questions that I had for you. I will give you all other non-quarterbacks, though, that end up going in the first round. Chris Jones, A.J. Brown, like I mentioned, Max Crosby, Fred Warner, Trey Hendrickson, and Derrick Henry.
Hey, I love Fred Warner, but if that's the guy you're building your entire team around, doesn't feel like a great sign.
Yeah, the positional value thing doesn't really come into play there.
No, not at all.
Okay, who's the worst player taken in the first round between Geno Smith and Tua Tagovailoa? Those are the bottom 2 quarterbacks.
Tua, you're asking yourself, whoever you better take a backup in the first few rounds too, because Tua cannot get through a season healthy. Like, I don't think any GM, if this actually happened, would be like, you know what, we're actually investing into Tua Tagovailoa at this point going forward. I don't think he'd be drafted, honestly.
Some of this list to me is just like Michael Penix and Bryce Young both go over Drake May in the second round. Kirk Cousins goes over CeeDee Lamb and Sam Darnold. Kirk Cousins over Caleb Williams?
I took my headset.
Whoa.
Kirk Cousins went over Caleb Williams.
Yes.
I'd like to be done with this.
And J.J. McCarthy. That's terrible.
I don't know. I still don't really know if anything's topping just someone taking Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that might be
I don't
most
love this list.
upset you've been on this show a month in.
I'll just never understand.
Somebody clip that. Clip that, chat.
Yeah, go ahead. Clip that, chat. I already did the rant, so I don't think I need to do it again. 989-837-612. I was really excited about that, and I got really angry because it just kept getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber as we continued down the list. Okay. That was fun. That was real fun. 989-837-6125. More on the Pistons free agency when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Are you new to investing and not sure where to begin? Start by looking for a financial advisor who will offer you a strategy personalized for you and your family. One who will be there as your life and financial situation changes. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you. We use an established process to create personalized financial strategies backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Parents, summer is almost here. Do you have a plan? Keep your kids active, engaged, and having a blast at Greater Midland Summer Camps. Every day is a new adventure filled with games, sports, creative activities, and new friendships. Plus, new this year, our full-day camps are now at the Greater Midland Tennis Center. More space, more fun, and more memories to be made. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Secure your child's best summer ever today at greatermidland.org/camps.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Ah, bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm gonna go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got it. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
Something is amiss at Dow Diamond. The award-winning True Crime Night returns for the Great Lakes Loons on Thursday, July 10th. And this time, our beloved golden bobblehead is missing. It's an evening filled with suspense and intrigue. Join the investigation to uncover the mystery and help solve the case of who framed Lou E. Loon. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Back in Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt. Just to make it clear, Malik Monk, too, if the Pistons are able to trade for him, it's not like he'd be going anywhere anytime soon. He's got 2 years left on his deal and then a player option, so potentially 3 years as a Piston with a very tradable contract. $19 million this season, $20 million the following season, and then if he opted in 2027, 2028, $21 million. Not that you trade for a guy with the idea of let's trade him again, but if you were to want to, land a big time guy and upgrade eventually, Malik Monk, a very tradable contract too. This has now just been rooted into my brain with this rumor that, Dennis Schroeder was going to be signed and traded to the Kings, and then it turned out they cleared enough cap space to where they could just sign Schroeder, and now it's back to being, well, this is still going to be a sign and trade. So Malik Monk, I'm just now, it's hard to say the Pistons offseason is whether it's successful is determined by if the Pistons can trade for Malik Monk, but that is somewhat of the way it feels right now. And again, you get Ivy back, so if that's to you a successful offseason, as I've kind of been saying that's what the Pistons are going to do, then so be it. What I didn't expect is to lose the likes of Dennis Schroeder, Malik Monk and Tim Hardaway Jr. all this offseason. I expected to at least get two of those guys back, and that's not what happened. Now it seems like if I want to legitimately tell this audience that the Pistons got better this offseason, Malik Monk needs to be in a Detroit uniform.
I don't think it specifically has to be Malik Monk. It's just what they do with this Schroeder sign and trade. Right? Like, what if they get PJ Washington from Dallas?
I'm okay with
what
that,
if they
too.
get... Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with this. Like, they have the flexibility. They will do something with this. It's been confirmed that the sign and trade is going to happen. It's whether they get a player or that trade exception, which you don't get a trade exception just for it to sit, right? I mean, it could, I guess, but $14 million is a pretty solid thing. To me, what this screams, if they do get Monk, is what we talked about on yesterday's show. The Duncan Robinson contract is essentially a one-year deal.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert's making $14 million a year. You find yourself at the deadline like, man, Monk is really turned out. Ivy's kind of balling a little bit. What we really need is this. You know, what we need is blank.
A 3-and-D power forward, basically. An
All of a sudden, you
upgrade
have
to
the
Tobias.
$16 million of Robinson to move. You have the $14 million per year of LeVert to move. You have the $26 million expiring Tobias Harris contract to move.
Which someone would love to take.
But it's expiring. I mean, sure. Like, who cares if it's a bad team, you know?
Right.
So, to me, it screams, if you get Monk, you have a lot of flexibility at the trade deadline when you're able to trade those guys on December 15th or whatever that deadline starts. So it creates a lot of options for the Pistons if they're able to get him. They first have to get him, you know, and that's kind of what we're waiting on.
Well, and if they are able to get him, like similar to the way that we've been talking, the Pistons have to be calculated when they want to pull the trigger on this move. You know, the one I keep going back to is the Indiana move. It's like, hey, we're going to actually go a little bit all in and get Pascal Siakam in the building. No one thought that'd be a big deal at the time, but guess what? They go to a conference finals, and then the following season, they go to the NBA finals. The Pistons have to be calculated with when they make that move. And, you know, because if you do it too early, all of a sudden you're out of moves. And if you do it too late, well, then you did it too late. And your window maybe has already passed. But if they are to land Monk and they have all these deals that are tradable at the deadline, all of a sudden you have the ability to say, you know what, we didn't do it this offseason. We didn't take a big swing this offseason. We wanted to see what we had in Jaden Ivey. We wanted to see what kind of small additions, marginal upgrades we can make. Both of those have hit. Jaden Ivey's playing well. Malik Monk is playing well. Now it's time to add a 3-and-D wing or someone who could provide a little bit more of a spark in the starting lineup and upgrade over Tobias Harris. There's going to be available guys at the deadline for that to potentially happen with.
I would be most disappointed if Malik Monk ends up somewhere else. That's when I would be disappointed.
If they decide to move him and the Pistons can't, if Trajan basically can't figure out a way to get Sacramento to accept the deal.
Which seems improbable at this point. Like, if Monk is going to get moved, why would it not be to the Pistons? It makes the most sense with the Schroeder money going into the Kings cap sheet. It just makes the most sense. And I don't know if this Monk contract is viewed as like a weird deal or something. I'm just confused why Sacramento wants to get off of him so bad. Is it because they want Russ? Is it because they want a different position making that kind of money? I'm pretty confused by it. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
Monk's a good player.
Has anything Sacramento's ever done made sense to you? Is that something that you think about a lot? It's like, oh, wait, you know,
Sacramento. Let's take the whole Bulls roster.
Sacramento doing things that don't make sense actually makes the most sense of this entire situation.
Right, and then when you remember that there's a baseball team playing in their city that isn't named after the city they're in, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, well, we're kind of taking swings here.
We're
at
just
Sacramento.
dissing
I
the
don't
city,
know about
right?
this. Yeah.
Hey, man, Sophie Cunningham was taking shots at our city. Like, I'm gonna start throwing them around.
The city didn't do anything, to be clear. I don't know what they did to deserve
they
all
haven't
this.
traded me Malik Monk yet.
Yeah,
that's what they did to me.
That's a good point. Yeah, I would love nothing more than Malik Monk to be a Detroit Piston by the end of this. He's one of the more exciting players off of the bench in the entire NBA. So, yeah, that to me would scream successful offseason here for the Detroit Pistons. You know what would scream a successful summer is if you called up Servinsky Sod. Your dream lawn? Yeah, Servinsky Sod can roll that out quite literally. Locally grown, top-quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers. And they've been doing it for over 50 years, so they are experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing your whole yard, Servinsky delivers lush, green, and perfection. fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now. Do not settle for meh. Increase the value of your home and make your neighbors jealous with Cervinsky Scott. The Ben Bosscher Show. We'll be right back on the 4th of July special show. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Big Tigers news last night. The All-Star starters announced 3 of them representing Detroit, and the big surprise, Javi Baez starting in center field. It wasn't really a shocker to most Tigers fans. You see Riley Greene starting in the All-Star game. He's been tremendous, especially in June. Gleyber Torres has been so consistent all season long, and there isn't a ton of competition at second base in the American League this year, so he gets the nod there. Not much of a surprise. But man, Javi Baez getting the starting center field spot. I mean, this is just, think about this. He's played in 71 games this season. Only 30 of those has he started in center field. Less than half of the games, he hasn't played in center field since June 4th. It's been nearly a month since Javi Baez has even played the position he's going to be starting in the All-Star game. And it just goes to show, this gives me another excuse to talk about this unique season that Javi Baez is having. Look, you still see the flashes of the old Javi Baez. That's never going to change, right? But the fact that the last 2 years in Detroit, he's been basically a zero, a nothing. Talked about being waived or cut heading into this season. And not only has he provided some use playing center field defensively, he also has brought it with his bat way better than anyone expected. What a resurgence for Javi Baez in 2025, and we can't wait to see him out in center field in the All-Star game. Remember that, presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with a Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
The Michigan Baseball Foundation is more than just baseball. It's a driver of economic growth and community. Operating one of the nation's top minor league stadiums, MBF supports job creation and regional development. Through creative partnerships and charitable giving, MBF has helped bring projects like Dow Diamond, the East End Development, Fairfield Inn and Suites, the Plaza, and the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to life, generating over $23 million annually in economic impact. Every Great Lakes Loons ticket supports these efforts. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman Night at Dow Diamond on Saturday, July 12th. The first 1,000 fans through the gates will receive an exclusive Super Lou E bobblehead courtesy of My Michigan Health. Create a lasting memory after the game as you take in Fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Don't miss this super night of fun. Get your tickets at loons.com. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show. It's time to do a little bit of a draft. Who doesn't love a good old draft? We're going to do a 4th of July one with just 4th of July related things. So, Kyle, I'll be a gentleman. You go first on this one.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Ben. I actually...
Take fireworks. Do it. Do it. Take fireworks.
Does fireworks go undrafted?
Dude, it might.
I never really gave you my fireworks take, so I'll do it right now. I like fireworks just on the 4th of July. Every other time of year, I'm like,
What about like the week of the 4th of July? Because I've been seeing a lot of just pop up like one firework while I'm driving. You know what I mean? People just lighting one off in the street.
I really only like it the time of the year where like I'm watching the fireworks just on the 4th of July. Or maybe it's like the night before or whatever. I only need it one time is what I'm saying.
I think I'm out on the singular firework too. The people who just like have an extra one, they're like, let's light this one off. It's like, if it's not a fireworks show, what are we doing?
And the fireworks show is cool and all, but then you're like 10 minutes in and you're like, 1, wow, this is kind of long. And 2, how much bread did this dude drop on these fireworks?
Yeah.
Because this is a long fireworks show.
I have no idea how expensive fireworks are. Not a clue.
They're very expensive. Like the big ones. One summer I worked at my friend's dad's fireworks like shop during 4th of July.
Uh-huh.
It is crazy how much fireworks get sold in the summertime.
Oh,
like it is actually absurd.
Well, you have to buy them in the summer because it's the only time you can buy them.
Right.
Like at least easily. Yeah, I don't know. Fireworks are fine. I agree. They're fine on the 4th of July. Good show. Maybe get a couple in over the weekend. But like next week, when people are still lighting some off just because they have extra, that's when I'm like, okay, we can be done with this now.
Come on.
We can. Exactly. And then like in a couple months when people are like, hey, let's bust open the fireworks we never used on the 4th of July. It's like, do we have to? Or can we just save them for next year?
Right. That's a good idea. Saving them for next year is always good.
Anyway,
Okay.
You're up first in this 4th of July draft.
So I made like a little bit of a big board here. I'm going to put number 1 for me, going out on the boat, going on the lake. I think that is number 1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just love doing that. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, for me, I love going on the boat, man. Especially when it's hot out, 4th of July, it's packed out there. Everyone's blaring music. Man, I love that.
That's a good one.
Jumping in the lake.
Probably would have been my number 1. I wasn't sure if lake and boat were going to go together.
I'm tying them together. Well, you could put like
because going
on the beach
counts as a different one.
You could do that,
but I feel like you really need a boat for the 4th of July.
I've never been really a beach guy. I just talked about it last week. I was selling my stock on the Grand Haven beach.
If that's going number 1,
that's going to be packed this weekend. By the way,
I think I have to take the grill number 2 overall.
Ooh, this was on here.
So I'm taking the grill, and if you're tying, boats and lakes together,
you get all grill food.
Yeah, I get all grill food. I'm just taking.
What?
I draft the grill.
No. Okay, yeah.
So I'm getting chicken, hot dogs, barbecue.
They'll only go on the grill though.
Steak, if people are cooking steaks on the 4th of July.
Can do that.
Yeah,
corn on the cob
corn
on the grill.
Corn on the cob. Yeah. You get it. Burgers. I'm just drafting the grill. So you have some fun on the boat. I'll be back on shore, making sure everyone's well fed on the 4th of July.
And honestly, that's not a bad job, right? Man in the grill.
No, there's always that one guy who's
locking it
like,
down.
I'm actually good on talking to anybody today. I'll just be the guy cooking everybody's food. And
Yeah,
you
and
need
he's
that
just
guy.
slamming beers by himself.
You need that guy. Every family, every group needs a grill guy who's perfectly content not talking to anyone their whole day and just grilling meat.
Okay, so is this a snake draft or do I go again?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, this is a bad pick because you obviously aren't going to take it, but it's a good follow-up to the grill pick. I'm taking hot dogs, but over the campfire, over the bonfire.
Yeah, this is a bad pick, Kyle. Because you can only use this at night.
Fire food though, because I get s'mores.
Okay, you're just taking the nighttime campfire then, or bonfire.
Yes. Sure. The 4th of July nighttime fire, because you get to watch the fireworks still. You're sitting around by the campfire. It's still pretty warm. You can do dogs. You can do s'mores.
But yeah, why does anyone need a fire if it's that warm out?
Because it's just what you do, man. It's a 4th of July. You light a fire.
When I think of 4th of July, I'm thinking of mostly the daytime. I don't know if I would have gone with a nighttime pick this early on.
It just feel like I had to take it following up the grill pick.
Probably
a bad pick.
Want to see a great value pick at number 4?
Okay.
Yard games. I'm taking cornhole, taking can jam, ladder golf. I'm taking all the yard games. I've got the grill and I've got the yard games. I don't know what else I really need.
You ever played slip and flip?
No, what is slip and flip?
It's like you have a big slip and slide in the yard, and then at the end of the slip and slide, it's like a board to play flip cup or a table. Dude, it is so fun.
So you just slide down and then start playing flip cup?
You slide down, you flip cup, and as soon as you finish, the person next up top of the slides down. It's super fun. Until someone slides so fast that they crash into the table.
I would do it on purpose.
That's pretty good.
That would be me. I'd be the person to slide down and just crash into it on purpose. Oh, sorry, the game's over, guys.
That's a fun game for sure. Yeah, yard games is a good pick, but I'm trying to be on the water. I'm trying to be on the boat. You can have your little fun play date in the yard.
On land.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, forgive me for being on land.
What, you're a big anti-water guy or something.
You took the boat. I was going to take boat second overall if you wouldn't have done it. So
you could still take beach.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. I'm not taking fireworks.
Fireworks really about to go undrafted.
I'm not taking the hot dog eating contest because it's cool and everything. I like to see who won.
I'm convinced no one actually watches it. Yeah. No one actually watches it.
It's also at noon on 4th of July.
Yep. That's part of the reason no one watches it.
Prime time to not be watching a TV.
It's also only cool for the first 25 seconds. I'm not sitting there and watching him eat for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over and over and over.
It's so gross, dude.
It's no different than NASCAR.
It is so gross. Actually, if you watch the entire hot dog eating contest, something a little wrong with you. I'm not going to lie.
Just eating one.
It's pretty weird.
Drinking a beer. Enjoying the show.
Oh, watch these guys.
Watch this, honey.
There's another hot dog.
Wonder if he's going to get this one down.
I don't want to give away my next pick because I think drafting weather is kind of a good pick.
Oh.
But I'm not gonna. Just because of if you get the good weather, man, that's a good pick.
I feel like Mother Nature's usually pretty generous on the 4th. It's usually good weather.
You typically, when it's not, that's just awful.
Yeah.
You're right. It does always just seem to work out.
Yeah. Happy birthday,
Kinda
America.
Interesting. Kind of rigged. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna take beers.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. It's a pretty solid pick at pick 5 here.
That's great.
Probably had
value.
top 2 potential. You really can't have 4th of July without beers.
There's someone out there has been screaming that for the last 7 minutes. Why have they not taken beer?
How is beers not first? It's 4th of July.
That's good. No, that's good. Okay. 6 overall. I think I got to be kind of strategic here. I still think it's just too early for fireworks. I'm going to go with baseball.
I'm not taking it. Yeah.
I'm going with baseball. We've got a great game here. You got the Tigers that are usually playing. Like I said, baseball here at Dow Diamond with all these future All-Stars playing this weekend. There's always baseball on the 4th of July. And maybe you can't sit down and watch a full Tigers game for 3 hours, but you can listen to Dan Dickerson Even if you're on the boat, even if you're on land or on the beach, wherever you are, you can throw on the Tigers game in the background. And when they're winning, it's like, oh, hey, look at that. Riley Greene, home run. Oh, look at that. Spencer Torkelson, double. It's just a good feeling when the Tigers are winning on the 4th of July. So I'm going to take baseball. And it's also something you can go do on the 4th of July. Go to a baseball game. I recommend everyone in the Great Lakes Bay region goes to a baseball game.
Well, yeah.
I've been to last year here at Dow Diamond. I was
other than like working one though.
No, I don't think I've been to a Tigers game on the 4th. I don't think I have.
Me either.
I'm taking baseball 6 overall.
It's a good pick, especially because we will both be doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a good one for next.
I have a good one too. And since you kind of talked about like, oh, you're listening or watching baseball.
Oh, you're gonna take it.
I'm taking music.
Darn it!
7th overall.
Yeah, you stole
because
my pick.
If there is not music playing literally the entire day, the time, something's wrong.
Music
there
and
better
or
be music
baseball.
on the whole time.
Or baseball. Just something has to be
playing. Even if
playing.
baseball's on, there's music too.
I don't think both of those things, that sounds like
there's
it would,
never music off on 4th of July.
Unless you're listening to the Tigers. You can't listen to music and the Tigers at the same time. It's impossible. Can't do it.
Well, you just watch the Tigers with music on.
Okay, that's fair. But if you're outside, how are you going to be watching the Tigers? On the phone?
Someone has a TV outside? It's 4th
That's
of July.
ideal.
Dude. You can do whatever
that's
you
ideal,
want.
But that's not always that's not always accessible. You know?
Anything is accessible on 4th of July.
That was going to be my pick, unfortunately. So now I'm kind of here stumped. You
How
know
many
what?
picks are we going? 10 picks?
A couple more minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's time to take fireworks. At this point, this is good value. This is a good value pick if I'm
Is
picking
it?
fireworks. Yes, because you know
think
what happens
undrafted free
every
agent
4th
was
of
good
July?
value.
No. Because you know what happens every 4th of July, no matter where you are or what you're doing? Fireworks. I don't love them, but this is too far in the draft for them to have fallen. So I'm taking fireworks.
Okay. I don't like the pick. I prefer sparklers. I prefer the poppets that you throw at the ground and they...
Or at your sibling.
Make the pop sound.
I like snapping them in my fingers.
But that
Felt
also
like
is
a
like
badass at the time.
a 10-year-old kid pick. So I'm not going to take either one.
Roman candles, shoot them at each other.
Yeah.
Ever do that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, I have a dumb pick. But I don't know if I want to take it. Okay, no, I am. This correlates to my bonfire, campfire-esque pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the lawn chair. If I'm not spending at least 2 hours in a lawn chair on 4th of July, something's wrong. There's nothing better than plopping down in a lawn chair on 4th of July. If it's a regular chair, I don't want it.
What about like
It's
the
gotta be a
Adirondack
lawn chair.
I don't know. The Adirondack beach chairs, those ones kind of go hard when you put them in the water a little bit. You can't put the
You can put the lawn chair in the water.
No, I don't think you can because then they get
Yes,
all wet.
you can.
Then they get all wet.
Any lawn chair can get wet, dude. They're built to get wet.
I like the Adirondack
You just ain't been
chairs a little bit
spending enough
more.
time in a lawn chair as me.
Apparently not. I don't think I have. All right, since I already took, I got to lean more into the food. I'm taking like a big fruit bowl. Like just a
that's such a good
giant
pick,
fruit
dude.
bowl. Watermelon, strawberries, pineapple, all the good stuff. Cherries maybe. All the good stuff for like the summertime. I'm taking a big fruit bowl. Nobody likes candy on the 4th of July. You can't be getting the sugar rush and then getting up and then having the sugar crash. So you got to go with the natural stuff, the good stuff, the grapes, the watermelon, whatever's available. You gotta go fruit on the 4th of July. It just hits a little bit different when you're spending time outside.
That's your best pick. That's such
Over
a good
the
one.
grill. I mean, they go hand in hand.
I mean,
I
for
can't believe you let
value-wise.
that get to
Getting
me.
the fruit. I forgot about the fruit bowl, but man, it comes in clutch,
Yes,
dude.
it does. Yes, it does.
Okay, last pick. Such a dumb one. I'm also just gonna let you get beach because I'm out on the beach on 4th of July. It's too packed. I'm good.
I'm with you.
But last pick for each of us here. I'm going with the can koozie. Gotta have a koozie on 4th of July.
It's a good pick, especially since you already had beer.
Yes, and I have lawn chair. So it's like now I have the combination of the sitting in the lawn chair with a koozie and a beer in it.
You know what I'm going to take? I'm going
For
to
your
take
last pick, Mr. Irrelevant.
Dogs that aren't afraid of fireworks. Because you know what's better than grilling, playing lawn games, eating a fruit bowl, all on land during the 4th of July, spending some time with the fam? Doing it all with your dog there, too. And if your dog isn't one of those dogs, or you kind of got to protect them.
That aren't afraid of fireworks?
My dog's not very, I don't think he loves him, but he doesn't freak out and start barking about him.
Yeah.
So if I can have one of those dogs that's a little bit more chill, wants to just hang out, maybe catch the Frisbee once in a while, but, a veteran dog who's been around and seen the 4th of July, who's like, yeah, I used to be afraid of these things, but I've been there,
when
done
I was on my
that.
rookie deal, I was a little scared, but
now that I'm a seasoned veteran and I'm going on year 10, year 11 of this, I'm perfectly fine with the fireworks. My ears don't work very well anyway. That's the dog I'm drafting here with my last pick, Mr. Irrelevant.
That's a good pick. It's a creative pick.
Mm-hmm.
Beach goes undrafted.
Sorry. You're right. It's too crowded.
I thought about the water floaty, like the tube, basically.
Ooh, you already took
kind
boat,
of a good
though.
one.
You already took.
Yeah,
boat.
I'm already in the boat. Yeah.
Did you write all those down or no?
Oh yeah, I wrote them all down.
Can you run through them really fast for the people?
Yeah. Boat, grill, campfire, yard games, beers, baseball, music, fireworks, lawn chair, fruit bowl, koozie, and dogs that aren't scared.
Amazing stuff. All right. With that being said,
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom, and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Fields.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themid.com.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more. With 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Hey parents, got a young athlete at home? Sign them up for the Greater Midland Tri Kids Tri Youth Triathlon, Saturday, July 19th at Plymouth Park in Midland. Kids ages 6 to 15 will swim, bike, and run their way through the finish line in a fun, supportive environment. And don't miss the mini TKT for ages 3 to 5 happening Friday, July 18th. Register now at greatermidland.org/races. That's greatermidland.org/races.
There are many ways to say Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. You could say it with your show choir buddies at your high school reunion.
Miller Lite is more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
However you say it, it's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer per 12 fluid ounces. Miller Lite, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs. Michelob Ultra, 95 calories, 2.6 carbs. Taste test performed by Institute for Perception, February 2018.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Hour number 3 getting started right now. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. It is July 3rd, but guess what? We've got 3 Tigers All-Stars that have been named starters already. Could be more with Tarek Skubal. We will not know about that for a little bit longer, but we do know from the fan voting side of things, the Tigers fans really balled out. Riley Greene is an All-Star. Gleyber Torres is an All-Star. All-Starters. And Javier Baez, even though he hasn't played center field in basically a month and probably won't be playing center field again this season, has been named the starting center fielder for the American League. Shows you just how awesome of a turnaround he's really had, and that the Tigers fans have recognized that. Baseball fans across, Major League Baseball have recognized that and want to reward him for the amazing turnaround that he has had here in 2025. I don't know if I love the idea of him playing center field in the All-Star game, even though he hasn't played there in a month and isn't playing there again this year, and God forbid, unless Parker Meadows gets hurt. But you'll take it, right? It's not like I'm sitting here complaining about it. I don't love the idea. It seems like a little bit of a loophole, but hey, whatever. Another Tiger ad in the All-Star game.
And it's just the fact that it's Javi Baez. I think everyone's cool with it.
Who now has
all Major League Baseball.
Who now has started in 3 different positions in the All-Star game. You see this one?
Really? Did he start at second one time?
He did start at second.
Oh, when he was with the Mets, yeah.
Yep. So he's started in center field, shortstop, and second base across 2 different leagues. It's such a unique career, especially considering the highs and lows. He starts out as one of the most exciting players in baseball. Everyone loves him. El Mago, this, that. Gets booed out of New York. The fans hate him. Signs this giant contract with the Tigers. Fans also end up is the most popular Tiger for a year until he actually starts to play baseball. Then the Tigers fans want nothing to do with him because he becomes the worst hitter in all of baseball. And then suddenly this resurgence, finally healthy, fine hips now, got through surgery, and right back in the All-Star game. Basically out of a pinch because his team had no center fielders. Wenzel Perez
this was
goes
never
down.
supposed to happen.
Parker Meadows goes down. Matt Vierling goes down. And just like that, all 3 of the Tigers center fielders are hurt. Javier Baez is like, I'll play center field. And not only will I play center field, but I'll be a highlight machine out here, along with hitting some bombs. Obviously, that game against Boston where he had the 2 3-run shots. Riley Greene repeated that yesterday and then got the game number 2 off. What a day for Riley Greene. 2 games, played only in one of them, hits 2 3-run bombs, gets the day off, and then gets told he's a starter in the All-Star game for the first time ever. I definitely felt the best about Riley Greene becoming another All-Star for the Tigers. The Javier Baez story is cool, but actually seeing Riley Greene, get named to a starter in the All-Star game, this is the guy that we were promised all along when he was taken 5th overall in 2019. This is what we've hoped is happening, and now for it to finally happen right in front of our eyes, this guy's starting in an All-Star game in the middle of the hottest stretch of his entire career, that to me is the story of all of this.
Yeah, the Tigers finally have a superstar bat. Post Miguel Cabrera.
In a
Riley Greene has
homegrown
solidified
one,
himself
nonetheless.
as that. Yeah, homegrown one, like you said. And the Gleyber Torres stuff is awesome. Didn't expect him to be as good as he is. Great story. The Javi Baez thing is probably the best story just because of how things have gone for him as a Tiger. Like you said earlier, literally the worst hitter in Major League Baseball the last 2 seasons. But the Riley Greene stuff, I would agree with you. It's just awesome to see him go back-to-back All-Star, but this time finally being a starter, a lock, alongside Aaron Judge in the outfield. Obviously, Javi Baez as well. But yeah, it's just been super fun and, like you said, nearly emotional watching Riley Greene this season. He has been that good.
You know what came to mind, though, yesterday? And we had floated this out last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago at some point. But now I think it's officially hey, this is something the Tigers kind of have to start thinking about, is whether or not they're going to re-sign Gleyber Torres. Because he's on a very team-friendly... He's an all-star and only making $15 million on a 1-year deal this year. He's going to be seeking some mass 6-year extension, $100 million. And the Tigers are going to have to make a decision here whether or not to bring him back. Now, obviously, runaway candidate to start in the All-Star game. There wasn't even really a competition as to who that second baseman was going to be. So your obvious thought is, yes, of course, sign him to whatever contract he wants. But then, and not to mention, most consistent at-bats on the team, just a staple of the lineup, everyday second baseman, everyday player. you'd want to sign him in an ideal world. And if it's a team like the Dodgers, who kind of went through a similar thing with Teoscar Hernandez last season, they cough up the money and they do it. The Tigers aren't the Dodgers, though. And I think we're all well aware of what this team's spending habits are. For someone as great as Gleyber Torres has been this season, he's not one of the 3 to 4 most important players on this team right now. And if they're signing Gleyber Torres, does that prevent them from locking down someone like Riley Greene? Does it prevent them from locking down someone like Tarek Skubal? Does it prevent them from 3 years from now, Torkelson continues to play the way? Does it prevent them from extending Torkelson? These are all things the Tigers are going to have to consider this offseason. And now I bring it up because Gleyber Torres is officially an all-star. He's got all the leverage in the world to say, I want this much money. Are the Tigers going to be the team to cough it up and give it to him, or is some bad team that is in desperate need to spend some money, that needs a veteran bat in the lineup, is some team willing to overpay him for him to be not rotting away, but like a veteran leader on a younger team that isn't looking to spend a ton of money? Like, some team is willing to overpay him. Is it going to be the Detroit Tigers? I feel like the answer is probably no.
It's probably no, but I think the amount of years really matters here. Like, Riley Greene can hit the open market in 2028, after the 2028 season. Obviously, will be eligible for arbitration the 2 years prior to that. So you would hope the Tigers lock him down in those 2 seasons. But if Gleyber Torres is looking for a 2-year deal, a 2-3-year deal with big money, I think the Tigers would probably pay it, right? I mean, I think he is.
I don't think he's getting a 2-year deal, though. Do you? I feel like he's like, after an All-Star in this type of season, like he's getting a 5-year deal. A team probably wants to give him 5 or 6 year deal. So if that's the case, the Tigers probably don't match that. But I do think he's one of the 3 or 4 most important players on this team. Truly. Wouldn't you? I mean, you kind of just blew over that, but like, I think he is.
Tarek Skubal, Riley Greene, and then Torres has just been a rock, man, at the top of this lineup all season.
I don't disagree with that. And I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I don't want to bring him back, because if it like
for sure,
if I'm telling you what if I'm telling you what I really think, it's pay him, pay Riley, pay Skubal, and just start spending money.
Of course,
but obviously that's a little bit unrealistic for this Detroit Tigers team. Even though Ilitch, one of the 10 richest owners in baseball, even though Detroit, not a small market, but for some reason they treat the team as if it is. But I guess here's where I stand on this. Should they pay Gleyber Torres? Yes, obviously. But if it's preventing them from getting a contract or getting in the way of a Riley Greene contract or a Tarek Skubal contract, then the answer is clearly no to me.
Right.
Now, is he more important than extending a Spencer Torkelson? Yeah, probably. Is he more important than extending a Kerry Carpenter? Definitely. But the 2 above him in Greene and really the other All-Stars, in Greene and Skubal, and I don't think they're planning on giving Javi Narvaez an extension. He's still got a few years left anyway. But those are the 2 to me where it's like, all right, if you do have to start making decisions here, then Gleyber Torres is probably going to be the first person that the Tigers end up just letting walk. It's going to be the first piece they lose.
The big reason why they won't bring back Gleyber Torres is you didn't pay Colt Keith ahead of time for him to play third base.
Correct.
Like, it's a cool story that he's moving over there and everything to help the team out. Colt Keith is playing second base on this team next year, probably full time, as long as Spencer Torkelson is still the first baseman.
Well, Colt has started to figure it out over there at third base. He looks a lot better than he did a month ago.
But the other argument is your number 2 and 3 prospects both play middle infield.
Yeah.
You know, you got to find space for those guys at some point. Obviously, Rayner is quite some time out from making his major league debut, so that's not anything soon. But at the end of the day, like, those guys are who you're going to prioritize.
Unless they just say, hey, Gleyber, we want to lock you down. We're actually going to move some of these prospects here at the deadline.
There's no way they sign him to a 5-6 year deal.
Then I don't think he's going to be a Tiger then. Then I simply don't think he's going to be a Tiger. Because some team is going to be willing to, some team's going to talk themselves into, hey, this guy's an all-star. He can be the best bat in our lineup. Maybe we're not winning a World Series, but at least we have some stability here, and our young guys can keep developing.
Which is fine. Like, I'm not going to be upset at the Tigers if that happens, because they also didn't expect Torres to be this good.
No,
they probably planned on bringing him in for a year, and then like, okay, maybe we bring him back if he has a solid season. They weren't planning on this.
He's outperformed
having
his
to
contract.
Potentially pay the guy.
Yeah, and not only pay him, but like a
like
big
pay
contract.
him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some team is going to be willing to do it. I just don't think it is going to be the Detroit Tigers, unfortunately. Kind of a sour note to end on there. But hey, he's an all-star.
Hey, shout out for him to make him the All-Star game. Yeah.
Part of Tigers history forever. If you need to hire fast, let Spherion do the heavy lifting and get your great candidates without the hassle. Their simple online hiring platform makes finding the right employees quicker and easier than ever. Post jobs, review applicants, and connect with top talent. All from your phone or computer, whether you're staffing short-term projects or building a dream team for a long-term plan, Spherion has your back. Get back to running your businesses and let Spherion handle the hiring headache. Hiring made simple, smart, and online. That right there is Spherion. Go ahead and check their website out. The Faces of Detroit Sports, that is next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last night for Great Lakes, a 5-2 victory over the Whitecaps behind great pitching, 12 Ks and limiting the Caps to just 4 hits. Offense did come, and it came early for Great Lakes. 3 runs through the first 2 innings, all from Mike Sirota. A 2-ribby single in the second gave Great Lakes the lead. They never relinquished. Wind-up kick and pitch. Sirota swings, lashes it to left center, a base hit. Rodriguez scores. George hits third, and before the ball even gets to the infield, he's across. 2-run single for Mike Sirota, a 3-ribby night, and it's 3-1 Great Lakes. Still early here in the second. The Loons go for a sweep on the road before returning home for the 4th of July. Action tonight in West Michigan starts at 7:05.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Mary Draves, former Dow executive and leader in the Midland community.
I think as we get a little bit older, we start to care less about what other people think. That's really a great point, yeah. And so as I've gotten older, I think I've become way more comfortable in who I am and what I stand for. And, you know, when you get to that point, all of a sudden, you know, you become less apologetic about who you are. You also, you know, you're like, hey, this is me, I'm cool with it. Yeah. And I think in my 20s versus maybe I'm in my 50s now, it's a very different person. And that's just really part of the continuum of growth.
Listen to the full interview with Mary on 100.9 The Mitt's YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in, Ben Bosscher Show live, 100.9 The Mitt. Hope everyone's having a good start to their 4th of July weekend. Here's what we've got for you. We got a little bit of a treat for you. So, in honor of the 4th of July, in honor of the presidents here in America, the pastime, we're going to do a Mount Rushmore of the Detroit sports. Who is the face of the Detroit sports right now? Doesn't have to be all players. You don't have to include every single team. I'm not going to, because I think there's one team that isn't really worthy of having a face on there. So my faces would be Riley Greene, Cade Cunningham, Dan Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, face of Detroit, because, well, he's from the area. This is the highest draft pick on the team. He was drafted to be the best player on the Detroit Lions, and before his injury was that. It's just a matter of, can he get back to that? Dan Campbell embodies every Detroit team's culture, the grit, the hustle. That all stems from him, even with the Pistons, even with the Tigers. Riley Greene, the golden boy, drafted out of high school. We've watched this guy grow up right in front of our eyes. He is now a 2-time All-Star. everything that we were promised that Riley Greene could be, he is becoming, and it's coming to fruition right now, which has been so fun to watch. So that's why he is the face of the Tigers to me over Tarek Skubal. And then Cade Cunningham, the Pistons all-star, the guy, the franchise that this team is built around. Those would be my 4 guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with any of the guys you include because there's so many good Detroit faces. That's what makes this tough. You could have a second Mount Rushmore, and it would be like in debate to be on the first Mount Rushmore, right?
Who would be the second Mount Rushmore?
Well, I mean, mine is different than yours. But
all right, let's hear
according to yours, you would have Tarek Skubal. You would have Penei Sewell. You would have probably Jahmyr Gibbs or Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably throw a Red Wing in there, right? At that point. Larkin.
Yeah, I guess Larkin
another
would
Michigan
be in
man
there.
with the Hutchinson ties.
Yeah. I just don't like rewarding teams that aren't successful at this moment in
Javi
time.
Baez, maybe?
No, I don't think Javi would make the list for me.
Well, not Javi, but...
Oh, that's my boy right there. That's Javier Bays.
Javier, I just don't think he'd be on the list for me, if I'm being honest.
No, you're right. I agree. But my Mount Rushmore is different than Ben's. I do have Cade Cunningham. I do have Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell is the biggest lock of anyone. We kind of already discussed that.
I think it's Cade.
It probably is Cade.
You can't have the Mount Rushmore without Cade. Yeah.
Yeah. I have Tarek Skubal on mine. I think it's really hard to leave him off. I don't disagree with any of Ben's points that Riley Greene should be on. I understand all of those. I would just probably rather have them both on than leaving Skubal off. Potentially the 2-time Cy Young winner. One of the better players I've ever seen in a Tigers jersey. And that's from a really good Tigers team we got to watch when we were young. So Skubal's on mine. I lean Penei Sewell over Aiden Hutchinson. Just because Sewell, like Ben mentioned earlier, locked to make the Hall of Fame. A lock to be a Lion for life. Hutchinson probably is a Lion for life too, but hasn't gotten extended. Had a really serious injury last year, but has the Michigan ties. So that kind of gives him the edge. I understand. I go Penei Sewell.
If I was going to do a second one, I think Sewell would be on there. Skubal.
Goff's probably on it, actually.
For me, it'd be Skubal, Sewell, Amon-Ra.
Hinch? Goff?
No.
Brad Holmes?
That last one is tough. No, I don't think it'd
Sheila
be Brad
Hand?
Holmes. Is it crazy to say Brian Branch?
Yeah.
Why?
Over Gibbs?
Yeah, it probably would be Gibbs then. I'm sorry, I'm just
Or
not
St.
rewarding.
Brown.
I already said St. Brown. I'm just not rewarding a Red Wing. I'm just not doing it. Sorry. Make the playoffs. All these other teams have.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, maybe a third Mount Rushmore they can get a couple guys on. But
I don't think there's a third Tiger that really qualifies. I'm not going to put Gleyber on there. He's just not a face. I guess Riley kind of does.
Torkelson's kind of a face.
But is he good enough?
Probably not. But it's like the Jared Goff thing.
I'm just not
he's
putting
still
Jared
the
Goff
face
on
of the
mine
team.
either.
Torkelson is still one of the faces of this Tigers team.
That's
sure.
true, but I just don't think he's good enough to be.
Which is
that
totally
actually
fair.
might be disrespectful towards him. I just don't know if I'd have him over there over some of the other guys on that list. With Goff, it's I don't know. He's one of the more recognizable faces, but I don't know if he's the guy I would choose to represent the Lions.
Right.
There's just a handful of players that are just better at their respective jobs than Jared Goff is at his, if that makes sense.
But none of these other guys have chance all across the city.
I thought everyone was done. Are we done with the Jared Goff chance?
Yeah.
Can we be done with that? If I hear that
It
tomorrow,
still happened, though, right?
It did still happen. Yeah, that's correct. The best Jared Goff chance story I have is when I was in East Lansing after a Saturday Michigan State game, and some brawl broke out on the street. I'm talking 15 guys are just throwing hands, and I'm just watching it from this. This is me in my element. If I had a bucket of popcorn, I would have just plopped down on a little lawn chair and watched that forever. And then all of a sudden, Jared Goff chants started breaking out.
That's hilarious.
That was funny. That is when the
stuff
Jared
is
Goff
funny.
chant's appropriate. When it's not appropriate is when the Pistons are trying to fight for a playoff spot or in the playoffs, and that stupid
and
chant
Cade
gets
Cunningham
started.
shooting free throws, and instead of MVP chants, it's Jared Goff chants.
Yeah, that is annoying.
I also think the Jared Goff chants at the Lions games are all totally valid.
Pre-game, yeah, but once the game starts,
I think whenever.
Whatever.
I think whenever.
I know the Red Wings fans got really mad at the Jared Goff stuff because they like the "Let's Go Red Wings" chant, which I totally
get it. Yeah,
validate as well. I think
we are done with the good Jared Goff chants.
Yeah, especially after the playoffs. It's like, all right, let's move on from that chant. Let's start chanting something else.
I do think though it is because of how big of a lock Dan Campbell is, and we discussed this a little bit earlier, but like trying to think of who the second biggest face of Detroit is, non-athlete wise,
I just don't think there is
very
one.
interesting. But like I'm saying, if there is one, I think it's a tough discussion, right?
I think
because AJ Hinch has really brought so much to Detroit.
And he's probably going to win Manager of the Year in the American League. So
right.
It's probably just him. You could get creative and say Sheila, but
I think Sheila has a good case.
I do too.
Like it's totally flipped around the way the Lions ownership is viewed.
She's the one that hired Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. Like she's kind of the reason that this thing got put
involved.
together.
Like she is very involved in a good way. Whereas a lot of NFL owners are involved in a bad way.
MCDC and Holmes never have anything but positive things to say about her. Like we're able to do our jobs because we have all the support in the world from ownership. So like that counts for something, but I also don't think they can be like the face. You know what I mean? Like an owner probably shouldn't be the face of your city.
No, I agree.
If there's going to be an owner, it's probably the guy who owns 2 teams.
Yeah.
In Illich.
Yeah, but he's a face in a bad way.
Yeah, which is funny.
How about
because
Tom Gores, man? Look, he's bringing back the
yeah,
shock.
I was going to say,
Like,
another guy who owns 2 teams.
And he really did change the way he was viewed. I know the Pistons really haven't done enough to be like, Gores is awesome.
No, but the fact that he was willing to cut ties with Monty Williams and pay the contract all, $76 million.
After it was a clear mistake of his, too.
Yeah,
like he owned up to his mistake.
Yes, that to me was like a huge Tom Gores, like kind of in support of this guy from this point forward if he's willing to do that. And then it became a lot less involved in the decision making, which was ultimately a good thing because I just can't believe how big of a mess it got last season. But that was last season. That was 2 seasons ago at this point. But yeah, I think Dan Campbell being on there is basically a lock, and I don't know how many other cities across the United States could say that about a coach. Probably Kansas City, maybe Miami with Bosscher, like you mentioned. But that's probably it. That's probably it.
Yeah, as far as like big sports cities go,
it'd have to be a football coach. I don't think another manager or anything.
And
maybe
who are the other
Spoelstra
football coaches? Like
Andy Reid.
Like Sirianni's not making Phillies.
Yeah, and I don't think Sean McVay definitely wouldn't make LA's.
No.
It might just be the 2. It might be Dan Campbell in Detroit and Andy Reid in Kansas
Mike
City.
Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Can we do Pittsburgh? Because they don't even have a basketball team.
Well, it'd be Skeens. It'd be Cruz,
Sidney
Crosby, TJ Watt. So, no, I don't think Tomlin's on that.
You think Cruz and Skeens, the worst professional team, has 2 guys?
What do you want me to put DK Metcalf in there?
Aaron Rodgers.
No, he hasn't even played a game. He hasn't even played a game for them yet.
Right.
No. 989-837-6125. Who would be on your Detroit sports Mount Rushmore? Who are the faces of this city? Go ahead and send us a text or drop it in the YouTube chat as well. If you haven't subscribed on the YouTube, please do so. Goes a long way for us. 989-837-6125. We'll hit the news when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Fields.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see like them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see like them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themid.com.
Looking for the perfect golf getaway? Tee up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem. Whether you're a scratch golfer or just out for fun, Sandy Ridge offers a beautifully maintained 18-hole course, friendly staff, and unbeatable rates, plus a brand new clubhouse. Book your tee time today at sandyridgegolfcourse.com or call 989-631-6010. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, where great golf meets pure Michigan beauty.
Hey everyone, Brad Tunney here with the Mitt. And I want to talk to you about my friends over at Maple Hill Nursery, one of the great local family-owned businesses in our region for over 40 years. Now, their specialty is in landscaping with expertise and high-quality trees, plants, and shrubs. They're also a full stocking dealer of Dairy Dew, and they've got polywood furniture. Now, I've got it all over my backyard. It's maintenance-free and long-lasting and comes in 18 different colors. Stop by Maple Hill Nursery, just 2.5 miles north of the Midland Mall on Eastman.
Discover championship golf with amazing views at Apple Mountain in Freeland. Whether you're chasing birdies or just out for a relaxing round, Apple Mountain offers a stunning 18-hole experience for every skill level. Perfect greens, scenic fairways, and a course that plays as beautifully as it looks. Book your tee time now at applemountain.com. Apple Mountain. Golf elevated. Just minutes from Saginaw, but miles from the ordinary.
Something is amiss at Dow Diamond. The award-winning True Crime Night returns for the Great Lakes Loons on Thursday, July 10th. And this time, our beloved golden bobblehead is missing. It's an evening filled with suspense and intrigue. Join the investigation to uncover the mystery and help solve the case of who framed Lou E. Loon. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Ben Bosscher Show back on this July 3rd episode, our 4th of July episode of the show. It is just about 11:30, which means it is time to hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, it's time to get back into the news. We got some new news, Ben. Something that I forgot to bring up earlier, and this is big time stuff. Today, July 3rd, is our very own John Vicari's birthday.
Hey, Mr. Vicari.
That's a JV, Midland's finest New Yorker.
Who's down in West Michigan right now getting ready for a Loons game down there. We'll see him tomorrow, though. Big old 25.
Yeah, man.
that
Loons also beat the Whitecaps twice, maybe for John's birthday.
Make it 3 in a row?
Ooh. A little bit of a rivalry brewing between those two teams.
Yeah, 3 hit by pitches yesterday. Had
Crazy
someone
stuff.
Tweet at me yesterday, could be some base brawl in Dow Diamond this weekend.
Man,
Tensions
I hope
were
not.
high. I do. What do you mean? I'm
Okay,
always
I
rooting
guess
for a
so.
little chaos.
This is some weird news. Cade Cunningham threw out the first pitch at the Rangers game last night. Is this how Suns fans feel every time Booker just only cares about the Detroit teams?
It's like...
From Dallas, obviously Cade is. Grew up a big fan of all those teams.
Yeah, this isn't cheating, but it's borderline flirting. It's flirting. It's harmless flirting, I would say.
Yeah.
But if anything does end up happening, it's like you remember those moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you trust your girlfriend, you trust your boyfriend, but if the other person, it starts chatting it up with someone else, it's like bookmarking that. No, I know you're not going to do anything right now. I'm
just a friend, right?
I'm not worried about it. Yeah, just a friend. I'm not worried about it. You guys maybe have a little bit of a history, but I'm definitely mentally bookmarking it, Nothing to worry about.
Remember a couple years ago when Scooble and Booker went to the Cardinals-Lions game together, and Booker wore Lions gear and Scooble wore Cardinals gear? Because Scooble's a Phoenix area guy.
And it was like, I don't love that, but I guess I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, at least Booker's rocking the Detroit stuff,
at least
right?
somebody is.
Yeah, pretty funny stuff there. The NFL Top 100 has been dropping 2 a day. It's weird still.
So stupid.
But the Lions get their first guy on the list, Sam Laporta at number 94. Kind of a surprise, Ben, right? You and I off air talked about how we kind of assumed Laporta would be off the list this season. Here he is, though.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't... The Laporta stuff is so weird because it's like... He had a down year, but it's not because he wasn't as good. He just didn't get the ball as much because there were so many mouths to feed. So, I still think he's just as talented as a player as he was as a rookie, and he's probably even better than he was as a rookie. But the production was just down simply because J-Mo took that big step forward. I'm glad to see he's still on this list, though, because I think he is one of the top 100 players in the NFL. And I'm glad his peers recognize that.
So how many Lions do we think are getting on this list?
Laporta, Gibbs, Brian Branch, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Hutch, Penei Sewell. I think there's going to be 7.
There's a chance Hutchinson doesn't make it, though, right? I'm pretty sure injured guys miss the list sometimes.
All right, if Hutch isn't on there, then Kirby. I think.
Kirby's on it.
Setting the over-under at 7.5.
That's crazy, man. That's a lot of guys.
6.5. 6, because 8 would be ridiculous. I'm setting the over-under at 6.5, and I will take the over.
Yeah, I agree. I think 7 guys make it, especially if Hutch misses the list, due to being injured.
Because McNeil's probably off of it, unfortunately.
McNeil's
Montgomery's probably just not on it.
Is DJ Reed even sneak his way in?
No, I think Montgomery'd have a better shot at sneaking in there, but...
Probably.
The question is how high
Ragnow would have made it.
Is Gibbs a top 15, top 20 guy? Is he top 20
Maybe
guy?
top 30. I don't know, top 15. That might be kind of a stretch.
I hope Sewell's 10. I really do hope Sewell's top 10.
I hope so, too. He'll be the highest Lion for sure.
I would imagine so, yeah.
More Tigers news. Another Sunday Night Baseball game getting added to Detroit's schedule. July 20th at the Rangers will be on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball.
Have you heard the stories about the Rangers, the lack of offense in that building? So when they went to the World Series a few years back, they were one of the best offenses in baseball, right? And now no one can score runs there. Not only they can't score runs there, but their opponents can't score runs there too. And the ownership and the management, no one can figure it out. They have no explanation for why it's such a pitcher-friendly park now compared to what it was a couple of years ago. They're trying to figure it out, whether it's the sun or something to do with the stadium, and no one seems to have an answer. It's weird.
That really makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
Because this was one of the best offenses in a while that we saw Texas have a few years ago.
And now it's one of the most pitcher-friendly ballparks in the majors.
Really weird. Globe Life Field. Having some weird stuff going on there. Might have to remake everything. Okay, we talked about this earlier. Mike Brown to the Knicks. They finally hired their coach. Good move, Ben. Should have kept Tom Thibodeau. What do you think?
Tibbs, I just don't understand. It feels like they fired Tibbs without having a plan, because that took them a long time to hire Mike Brown. And I'm not saying the Mike Brown hire was good. I'm not saying the Mike Brown hire was bad. What I'm saying is I think they irresponsibly fired their coach and thought they were going to get a lot of buzz in terms of everyone jumping in line to try to apply to be the Knicks head coach, when in reality, no one wants to be the Knicks head coach because the last Knicks head coach brought them to relevance again, had them win 2 playoff series, and then he got fired. So why would anyone want to be the Knicks head coach? The guy they end up going with was unemployed. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the Knicks were a little bit over their heads on this one. They probably, at the end of the day, should have kept Tom Thibodeau.
The idea of firing Tibbs made sense. The not having a plan afterwards, just being like, someone will leave their job to come here.
Yeah, let's go ask all the other best coaches in the league if they just want to come here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Knicks. Why wouldn't they want to coach here,
Too much pressure.
Still like Mike Brown, though. I think it'll work out. Red Wings news, they signed former Winnipeg Jet Mason Appleton to a 2-year, $2.9 million per season contract. Finally making some signings here.
Not enough to move a needle, though.
Right. We get to see Dietrich Enns on the mound tonight for the Tigers. It's Game 3 with the Nationals. First pitch at 6:45. It's Dietrich Enns versus James Irvin of Washington.
Another Chippewa on the mound for the CMU today. It'll be interesting because last time he went 5 scoreless innings. Can he repeat that in any way, shape, or form?
I feel like there's no way, right?
All I'll say is the Tigers are in desperate need of another starter right now. And if this guy can provide any sort of if he can provide any sort of spark, then I'd be willing to roll the dice on him a couple more times. Because Flaherty was fine yesterday. You still don't feel great about him being the number 2 guy.
Right.
It was a good start, but that being a good start tells you where he's at in terms of what we expect from him on a outing to outing basis.
Right. And then following today's game for the Tigers, they're taking on the arch rival Cleveland Guardians, who have lost control of second place in the AL Central. Really a big skid for Cleveland. They've lost 6 games in a row, now at 40-44. That run differential really starting to catch up to them.
A plummet by Cleveland. And look around the rest of the AL Central, man. Terrible. Everyone is below 500. Remember we were
how cool we talked about it for a while?
Yeah, because it was like, oh, everyone's above 500. Everyone's hot. Minnesota's
4
red
playoff
hot.
teams.
Yeah, no, the Tigers have destroyed everyone in this division for the better part of a year. So, except Cleveland. So
who we've only played one time this year. Lost 3 of 4. So big time 3-game series in Cleveland this weekend.
And then Scooble had a complete game under 100 pitches against them in the 4th game, so they didn't get swept, but yeah, a big one against Cleveland because they always seem to have the Tigers number for some reason, and I despise losing to them.
Right.
Freaking Ramirez.
This could be
Naylor. I hate them.
There's no way the Tigers don't win the division at this point, right? Like, they've basically locked it up.
Yeah, they have.
There's literally no way.
Yeah, they've won the division.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to say that.
Pretty awesome. Last thing on the news, well, 2 more things. Clayton Kershaw threw his 3,000th career strikeout last night. Former Loon. Just had to throw that to you again.
Thank you.
So shout out to Clayton Kershaw. And then finally, DeAndre Ayton finally signing with the Los Angeles Lakers.
The AD replacement.
Right.
Dominating. All right, that's going to do it for the news. When we come back, it'll be our 2 traditions to close out every single show. We'll guess Colin's Open, who's definitely not doing a show today. And we'll have our lock of the day.
J-Max Open.
We'll guess J-Max Open. We'll do our lock of the day. It's coming up. Ben Bosscher Show. If you're going out of town this weekend, make sure on your way out of town, you stop by Tommy's Express Car Wash. Give your car the glow up it deserves at Tommy's Express Car Wash. Fast, friendly, and freakishly good at cleaning. Roll in dirty, roll out sparkling. It is, in fact, that easy. High-tech wash tunnels, eco-friendly soaps, and a ride that looks showroom fresh in just a couple of minutes. Sign up for their Unlimited Club and wash as often as you want because clean cars just drive better. Everybody knows that. No appointments, no nonsense, just clean, quick, and kind of addictive. Tommy's Express Car Wash because your car called, and it is begging for this. Locations in Midland, Saginaw, and Flint.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau Agent, located downtown Midland. Big Tigers news last night. The All-Star starters announced 3 of them representing Detroit, and the big surprise, Javi Baez starting in center field. It wasn't really a shocker to most Tigers fans. You see Riley Greene starting in the All-Star game. He's been tremendous, especially in June. Gleyber Torres has been so consistent all season long, and there isn't a ton of competition at second base in the American League this year, so he gets the nod there. Not much of a surprise. But man, Javi Baez getting the starting center field spot. I mean, this is just, think about this. He's played in 71 games this season. Only 30 of those has he started in center field. Less than half of the games, he hasn't played in center field since June 4th. It's been nearly a month since Javi Baez has even played the position he's going to be starting in the All-Star game. And it just goes to show, this gives me another excuse to talk about this unique season that Javi Baez is having. Look, you still see the flashes of the old Javi Baez. That's never going to change, right? But the fact that the last 2 years in Detroit, he's been basically a zero, a nothing. Talked about being waived or cut heading into this season. And not only has he provided some use playing center field defensively, he also has brought it with his bat way better than anyone expected. What a resurgence for Javi Baez in 2025, and we can't wait to see him out in center field in the All-Star game. Remember that, presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
Hey parents, got a young athlete at home? Sign them up for the Greater Midland Try Kids Try Youth Triathlon, Saturday, July 19th at Plymouth Park in Midland. Kids ages 6 to 15 will swim, bike, and run their way through the finish line in a fun, supportive environment. And don't miss the mini TKT for ages 3 to 5 happening Friday, July 18th. Register now at greatermidland.org/races. That's greatermidland.org/races.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at premiertilestone.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brandon Scott at Scott Family Dental in Midland. As someone who was born and raised here, I would like to introduce myself by offering my services as your family dental provider. At Scott Family Dental, our mission is to provide excellent and personalized care using the latest technologies and best practices. Our highly trained and personable staff ensure you will feel comfortable along the way.
Dr. Scott is accepting new patients at 2509 West Wackerly Street next to the US 10 on-ramp. Scott Family Dental, let's bring out your best smile together.
Wackadoo! Bluey and her little sister Bingo are joining the Great Lakes Loons again this summer for Red, White, and Bluey Weekend presented by My Michigan How. It's 2 games of fun, laughter, and memories with our favorite Blue healer. Whether it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, don't miss out. For tickets, visit loons.com. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we've got 2 traditions to close out every show. We're closing out the week. We'll be off tomorrow. It is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
It didn't go too well yesterday. Did not go too well yesterday.
It was close.
Yeah, we had C.J. Abrams to get 2 total bases. He ended up getting 1. We were basically just betting against Tyler Holton. But Tyler Holton actually had a decent open yesterday for...
he did, and Herter came in and did solid too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Promising.
Weird, because you don't typically trust those 2 guys on the mound. So the idea was basically what we used to do, or what I used to do 2 years ago for the Lions, was just take the other team's wide receiver's best guy and take their take their over, and that was the strategy yesterday. I just bet against Holton. CJ Abrams, obviously the best player, and it doesn't work out all that well. He only has 1 total base, and the Tigers absolutely. We should have just bet on Riley Greene, dude. He's so hot. He's just scorching hot right now.
Yeah.
Any Riley Greene bet would have hit yesterday. Any single one of them. So you want to give us an update on the week that is gone pretty terribly? Like past 2 weeks really have.
Yeah. So technically, we only had 2 picks this week, right? Because day 2 was canceled due to the Tigers-Nats game getting postponed.
Yep.
So you're only going to have 3 picks on the week, and you've missed both of the 2 so far. So a potential winless week is in play. So a big pick today. You're 3.76 units down all time, 2 units down on the week. Now 8-14 all-time record.
Hey, we just got to get hot.
Yeah. I also missed the tail yesterday, so my Taylor fade record has gone to 0-4.
Nice. We're real good at this.
Really, really bad.
All right. Since we're not doing one tomorrow, and we're essentially going into the weekend, I'm doing something that's happened over the weekend. You only get one chance to bet on this every single year. I'm going to be taking Joey Chestnut over 70.5 dogs at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Look, has he not gotten 70+ since 2021? That is correct. So some people are saying he's a little bit washed. But last year, when he got kicked out of the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest because he signed some brand with the vegan deal, he had to go do an independent hot dog eating contest. Guess what? He made a statement and pounded 83 hot dogs, a personal record for him. So I think he's coming back with some vengeance. I think he's coming back with a statement of a performance at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. He sets his own individual record. He sets the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating individual record and ends up with 84. That is my guess. He comes out, home run of a swing, dominates once again. It's not a question of whether or not he's going to win. It's how many hot dogs is he going to eat? And I think he goes out on top, absolute statement, dominant performance, and walks away as the greatest eater of all time with his 17th title after this week. So I'm going over 70.5 hot dogs, which is a little scary because I think
it's a ton of hot dogs.
They're begging you to take that over. But if he really wants to solidify himself as the GOAT and really give a middle finger to the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest for kicking him out last year, he's going to have to set that record. He's going to have to. I'm going over 70.5. Statement.
-112 odds on that, by the way.
Statement performance for him.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This is fade of the year.
Wow.
I'm smashing the under on this. This is the trappiest line ever. Who's betting the under on this? Other than me right now. No one. It's nearly unpatriotic to take the under. That's why I'm doing it. Everyone is betting the over on this. I would love to see the movement on this bet.
If everyone was betting the over, there'd be even odds. Or there'd be different odds on it.
I bet it's been rising and rising.
But they're both -112 is the thing. The over and the under. Like there's no movement on it.
Right, but you understand what I mean though, right? Like this is trap
I know
of
what
the
you
year.
mean. Yeah, and I
they
thought
want
I thought
everyone
about that.
to hit this over.
But once I realized last year when he got kicked out of the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, he had 83 just to kind of stick it to him. I think he's going to try to stick it to him again.
You're probably right.
Instead of PR.
I mean, I'm not going to be upset if I miss this. But just from a line movement perspective, from a public betting perspective, I'm going under.
Where we might run into some trouble is if he knows he's not getting the 84, and then he nobody else is even touching 70. So
That's what I was going to say. No one's going to beat him.
He starts going on cruise control mode there for the last few minutes of the contest. That would be the only concerning part. But I think this could be the last year he does it. He's been dominating this since like 2006, 16 titles. If this is his last time, he's got to go out with an absolute bang. So I'm going the over 70.5. I'm riding with the people. You know, that's the public play, and I'm riding with it. That is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow at noon. Okay, our other tradition to end the show is Colin Cowherd. He takes over our airwaves at noon. We try to predict what he's going to open with, and there's no way he's on today. He wasn't on yesterday. It's going to be his sidekick, J-Mac, who's taking charge. He opened with Lakers yesterday, right? And I don't think either of us got a point.
No one got a point. Back-to-back Lakers. Like, what? There was literally no Lakers news. Led with Lakers trades in a row.
Whose turn is it to go first? Because I might just go right back to it.
It is my turn to go first today.
Oh, man.
You went first yesterday.
Go back to the well,
7-5.
Kyle.
You lead.
Go back to the well, Kyle. Do it.
It's J-Mac, though. You got to remember it's J-Mac, not Colin.
Let him do it 3 times in a row.
I feel like some Steelers stuff is in play.
Oh, my God.
It's always in play. What do you mean?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If they were smart, they lead with some All-Stars MLB stuff. But they won't.
They won't do that.
Because they don't love them like that. I'm trying to think of any other potential NBA free agency things they could do. You're right. I'll go Lakers. Yeah.
I was trying to do some reverse psychology on you there. Begging you to take it, and then you psych yourself out.
And you're like, what else is there? There's also this weird Bronny LeBron thing going on where they asked Bronny in an interview, like, what do you think about all this LeBron getting traded speculation? He's like, I don't really pay attention to all that stuff. It's like, dude, that's literally your dad.
It's hard to not see
it's his teammate. So, yeah, I try not to pay attention. What? So funny.
Seems unavoidable to me.
Yeah. So I'll go Lakers.
This is tough. I was really hoping I could psych you out and get you to take something else here. But there's no way it's anything football related. I'd be shocked if it was.
I don't think there's no way.
You're right, though. It'd have to be Steelers, and I think they've just hit the Steelers bell one too many times.
Right. Led with Steelers on Monday. That's how I got my lone point.
They always lead with Steelers.
No Mahomes leads yet in the last month, by the way.
No, because there's nothing
There's
going
no news,
on.
but like, it's always a topic.
You know what? This is somewhat of a throwing darts type of thing, but I think this is kind of the situation we found ourselves in here on July 3rd because not a whole lot going on. I'm going to go Kevin Durant and the Rockets. I don't know why it's calling to me right now, but I feel like there's something there. They haven't led with that at all this week. Kevin Durant, Rockets, building something special over in Houston is the direction I'm going to go with this. I don't know why. It's calling to me, though, and I don't have a better idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's potential for that, for sure. It could just be some 4th of July stuff. Like, that wouldn't shock me. Some chestnut stuff.
Eventually, but they're not leading with that, and they got to hit something right at the jump. They're not going to pull a you and I and do a 4th of July overrated, underrated, properly rated segment right off the rip.
But that's what the people want.
That is what the people want.
We know what the people want.
I would want to hear J-Mac. J-Mac would definitely say 4th of July is overrated. No doubt in my mind he would say that. Like, I don't like the sun. I don't like the boat.
I don't know, Colin.
I like it better when it's snowing. That's what he would say.
Because football's on.
I'm not a baseball guy. Yeah, that's the direction I'll go. So I'll go Kevin Durant. You said it's 7-5 right now?
7-5, you're up. We've only gotten 1 point this week as a unit after our crazy run we had over the last week and a half. But yeah, 7-5. I'm looking to cut the lead a little bit.
Okay. That is going to do it for us today and this week. It's been a fun one. I can't believe this was week number 5 of doing the show. It feels like, is it week?
We're over a month in.
We're over a month in at this point. Even though it's really only a month on the day that we've set out to do this. So with that being said, please come out to Dow Diamond this weekend because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we've got some of the most exciting games that we're going to be hosting here all year. If you live in the Great Lakes Bay region, Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, any city in between, come on out to the ballpark. We've got 5 top 100 prospects all sharing the field this week. Sire Hope, Josue Paula for the Loons, and then for the Whitecaps, for the Tigers affiliate, Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, the new top prospect for the Tigers, number 7 overall in the MILB pipeline, and then Jose Briseño, their power hitter as well, who leads the Midwest League in home runs. Just loaded with talent. All 5 guys have been invited to the Futures All-Star Game, which will be played All-Star Weekend. So there is just so much talent here this weekend. And who knows? I heard some tempers flared up yesterday down in West Michigan as the two teams are playing. Yeah, the word on the street is the teams are beefing a little bit. So
a little bit of a rivalry, man. Hey, I heard West Michigan was the best minor league team of all time, but the Loons have kind of taking care of business so far.
Yeah, a lot of baseball to be played. Maybe get a little bit more than just fireworks as sparks this week here at Dow Diamonds. I'm always rooting for a little bit of chaos. Not too much, but just a little bit. Always exciting when you get some people running out.
It's
of
a
the
little bit
bullpen.
excited.
I don't think there's anything more exciting than, like, in basketball, when guys start squaring up, it's just like, oh gosh, here we go again. Like, you just know nothing good results from it.
Yeah, but that's the same thing in baseball. All the time, the bench is clear for no reason.
No, yes, you're right. They clear for no reason a lot, but like once in a while there is a reason, and that is what really gets the juices flowing. That is what, like, you see Dave Roberts a couple weeks ago start getting in it with the San Diego manager. That is what gets me going. All right, everyone. I hope everyone enjoys their 4th of July. If you're not making it out to Dow Diamond, that's okay too. Enjoy your time on the boat. Enjoy your time, doing whatever it is that you're doing. Stay safe. Don't blow off your hand with a firework. I looked it up earlier. 11 deaths per year via fireworks on the 4th of July.
Only 11?
I know, right?
I honestly figured it'd be more.
Don't let that be you. Please don't. And keep all your phalanges. Keep all your phalanges.
Safe.
Be safe. Have fun. Now I feel like an old person. Just telling everyone, oh, be safe out there.
Yeah, but have fun, man.
Have fun. That's exactly right. All right. That's going to do it. This has been a great week. This has been a fun week. And I guess I'll leave you with this.
No show tomorrow.
Yeah, no show tomorrow. I'll leave you with this. Riley Greene, awesome. Such a fantastic part of this team. All right, everyone. That has been another week of the Ben Bosscher Show. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We will be back on Monday. That was the Ben Bosscher Show. Hope it was worth it. Enjoy the 4th of July, everyone. Have a good one.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on